Good evening. Tonight we're going to return to London with Brett the Breton, as we usually do. And now we're just going to wait and see if he's ready to go because we've got some mysteries to solve. London 30 years ago was a different time and place. The police were so incompetent, they needed to have American teenagers come in to solve all the mysteries. Obviously, the English police are a little bit more. They're a little bit more competent now. They don't need American teenagers anymore. So yeah. So now we're just waiting for Brett to come in, and then we can switch over to the game and get started.
There we go. Okay, Evie, you are on.
Can you hear me?
There we are. Yes, I can. Very well.
All right. Can you hear me?
There we are. Yes, I can.
Okay, audio test good on my end. I am
I think
ready.
you're having okay.
I'm ready to go if you are.
I was born ready, and then I did other things, and then I was not ready anymore. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Sure.
All right, so I'm gonna switch over to the game screen here. Ah, there we go.
Oh, I'm so out of it.
Sometimes I click
Seriously.
things in just the wrong order, and you can briefly see my stream setup flash by. But here we are. I'm on the game screen within my studio now.
Very nice. Very nice.
Do you
I'm
see
going
my
to.
game screen?
One second here. I'm trying to get my mouse to function. There we go. All right, now the people on my stream should be hearing a nice little lo-fi beat sort of situation happening in the background there. And what were you inquiring of for me to answer for you a question?
Can you see
What was
my?
it?
Can you see the game screen?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's been up. Yeah.
All right, good. Then I am ready to go if you are.
Alrighty. I was unable to get a water. I forgot we haven't gone to the store, so I'm out of water. But I do have something new tonight. It is the Liquid Death Blueberry Buzzsaw. And no, I am not sponsored by Liquid Death. I drink the crap out of their stuff on my streams, but I'm not sponsored.
All right. Well, if
Yeah.
you don't have
Okay.
bottled water, you can always use sink water.
That's true, but it tastes funny.
Yeah.
I think it's the pipes. They worry me. We got an email or a letter from the water company here how to check your house for lead pipes. And I was like, huh, okay, well, all right.
All
We
right.
didn't have lead pipes. But
Are we ready to start?
yeah, yeah, we're good. Let's go.
Okay.
Rock and roll. Rock on.
The DOS emulator has grabbed my mouse, and we should be good to go for a
Excellent.
while.
Rock over London, rock on Chicago, Polaroid. See what develops.
And we're in the second case book, so we're using Jennifer for this half of the game. And so we're going to start with the case of the Cairo curse.
The case of the Cairo curse. We're gonna crack that. Trying to think. Gonna crack that criminal's cranium with a cardioid condenser mic. I don't know. Let's just go on. I'll stop. This music, this is a different music that I've got going on right now. This may be a little too laid back. I may actually fall asleep, so I think I might switch it. I'll keep it for a while. Jennifer, are you and Uncle in the mood for a real treat?
Always, Ann M. What's up?
The British Museum is opening a brilliant new exhibit from the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. The press have been invited in for a pre-opening peek, and I've got extra passes. If you hurry, you two can be my guests.
Excellent. I love Egyptian stuff. Jake will be so bummed that he missed this. He's nuts about mummies and all that gold they buried with them. Incidentally, during the rabbi's sermon tonight, he was talking about the Egyptians. He was talking
Oh,
about,
really?
yeah, it's the end of Passover week, so he was talking about the end of the Passover story where he split the river so we could escape Egypt, and then crashed the river down on top of the Egyptian army. And he talked about how the plagues were basically God proving that all the Egyptian gods were false gods because they couldn't
So,
stop the plagues.
so I'm still hearing your voice, and you're on a stream. So that means you must have been passed over again.
I don't get it.
It's making fun of the not making fun, but poking fun at the name of Passover. Like that was the point of Passover,
Yeah.
right? You put the symbol on your, or you wiped blood on your door, right?
So something like that. So basically, with the plagues and then the drowning of the of Pharaoh's army, basically God was showing to uh, all the ancient polytheistic gods that hey, they're powerless. He's the real deal.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying about the Passover bit, because that you were literally passed over by the Romans because they thought that they had already got your house.
And no, Passover has nothing to do with the Romans. It was the Egyptians. The Romans came later.
Well, what am I thinking of? The it was oh man, I'm getting
Romans was all the Jesus stuff.
yeah. I'm getting my religions confused. I think it was the thing where the king guy had all the male children killed.
Yeah, something like that. But
Yeah,
anyways, we're getting too much into religion and politics,
yeah.
more than the scope of this game demands. So,
You know, I would so much rather talk religion than politics right now. I never thought I'd say that, but anyway,
all right. So,
I am gonna change the music. This is too relaxing,
all right.
and I'm having difficulty holding coherent hots together. That's what I'm having trouble with right
Let's.
now. Where did my other thing go? I like this music, but it's just too chill. Let's see if this is the right one. I got a whole list of these things. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is the swanky one.
All
I
right.
know you can't hear it, but it's a whop whop wow, some trumpets.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, 1 second. I'm trying to get the volume tweaked on this. YouTube gives you. I'm playing this just on YouTube. They give you this half-inch wide volume slider, and it's like you can't do anything with that. I mean, I'm like clicking on individual pixels trying to get it to go up just the tiniest hair so you can hear it but not drown anything out. And I think I got it. There we go. All right, let's go.
So, are you definitely set and ready to go?
To the British Museum.
Okay, let's go to the British Museum.
Right on. Salem, buddy. How you doing, boyo? I got a Salem. We were lucky enough last time he got on screen. I don't know about now, but
This is cool. I've never been to a pre opening press party before. We're the first kids in London to see this exhibit.
we're the first kids in London. Let's see. I never can remember from episode to episode what these people are supposed to sound like. Cecil Grange. Yes, we've moved some of our permanent Egyptian antiques collection here to make room for the. He's a drunk, that's it. Here to make room for the new exhibit. I'm sure you'll be pleased. It truly is the most magnificent collection of Egyptian treasures I've ever seen. You're gonna love it. Mr. Grange, is it true that the museum has been experiencing strange accidents since the mummy's arrival? Do you believe this has anything to do with the curse? Curse? My dear Miss Eagle, surely an intelligent, modern, attractive, beautiful, shapely woman like yourself doesn't believe in ancient Egyptian curses. The museum has had a few minor mishaps since the exhibit's arrival, but nothing unexpected. It's fine. With the exhibit of this size and importance, there are bound to be a few injuries and accidents, moving the huge statues and sarcophagi. So, 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 the, the mummies. Can you give us more detail on these accidents, Mr. Grange? Nothing out of the ordinary. There's normal accidents. You know, like you're chopping up a carrot and you go too fast, and there goes your finger. Yeah, that sort of thing. It's fine. A careless worker hurt his arm when he didn't check the ropes holding up one of the largest statues. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine now. He's fine. Thankfully, the statue was unharmed. The poor man broke the statue's
So it looks like we
fall.
have two other rooms in the. Should we go left or right first?
Um, let's go left.
Let's
Let's
go
go left.
left. Okay.
Yeah,
We
this
can
way.
learn more about the ancient Egyptians in the British Museum's library. Looks like Mr. Sneed has set up a display of ancient Egyptian stuff for people checking out the new exhibit. We can just browse through that.
Mr. Sneed. I know he's not in this scene, but I'll be Mr. Sneed anyway.
Okay. It's cool that he actually did something for the regular people this time and not just for us. He set up a display for people coming into the library. Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah. I think we're melting his ice cold heart with our kindness
Because
and
that
our
does seem a little out of character for him. He doesn't like anybody except us, remember?
yeah. He's probably got cirrhosis and he's not long for this world, and so he's changing his ways. I think that's what it is.
This scroll is written in hieroglyphics, the picture alphabet of ancient Egypt. The scroll itself is made from papyrus, a reed found in the Nile Valley that Egyptians turned into paper. The
Oh my
translation.
god! The other guy's gonna be so sad. I can't think of his friggin' name.
Who?
Undertale.
The, tra-
You
the,
know,
tr-
right?
the translation of the hieroglyphics is attached.
You
And
know Undertale, right? The
uh,
papyrus character and his brother
no.
Sans. There we go. Sans. Yeah. Never mind.
The scroll reads Akhmet, beloved of Ra, beloved of Horus, dances into the west, dances into the fragrant garden of the gods. Brightest of the stars of Egypt, Akhmet, beloved of the gods.
They like that guy.
Anubis
Or
guard her
lady.
resting place. Let not strangers enter the house of the dead. Crush he who would disturb the sleep of Akhmet. Death to him who would take her from her sacred place.
Well, kill him.
A
Take
note
him.
under the translation says that this scroll was found just outside the sealed doors of Akhmet's tomb. It is believed to be a curse left there by her priests. Wow,
The
a
priests are
real
leaving
Egyptian
curses, geez.
curse.
That's hardcore if the priests are leaving curses.
The ancient Egyptians had a very advanced society. Almost 4,500 years ago, while the people of England were just learning to use bronze tools, the Egyptians were building the huge pyramids of Cheops and the majestic Sphinx. The pyramids were so well designed that they have survived thousands of years of desert winds and sandstorms. The huge monuments the huge monuments are still considered one of the wonders of the world. Have you seen the Great Pyramid Lego set? It's a beautiful one, and I've been thinking
It's
about
very,
getting it as like one of the centerpieces for my display.
I want so badly to buy that set and paint it black so it would be like the Luxor in Vegas. I know that's kind of blasphemy with Lego, but still.
Then you don't buy the set. What you do is you follow the instructions for the set in the studio. You convert all the pieces to black, and then you print out the parts list and you source the parts, and you do it that way. It's blasphemy
Oh,
to paint Lego bricks, but you can
yeah,
recolor a set using the studio and do a custom parts list.
yeah. And it doesn't work well either because of the type of plastic.
Yeah. The Kingdom of Egypt was built around the Nile Valley. The huge river flooded its banks yearly, depositing rich silt that made the banks of the Nile some of the most fertile farmland in the ancient world.
Not to mention the birthplace of the street side silt seller. Silt, silt, get your silt.
Because the Egyptians could grow enough food for themselves with plenty left over, they became very wealthy trading that extra food for goods from other poorer countries. A great civilization grew up around the fertile Nile Valley, developing surprisingly advanced systems of science, medicine, literature, art, and mathematics.
And a heck of a casino.
We are lucky enough to know a great deal about this ancient culture, partly because of the Egyptians' preoccupation with death and the afterlife. Because they believed that the spirits of the dead needed the same kind of comforts that people had in life, that many everyday items were buried in the great tombs of the pharaohs and preserved for us to examine. Well, they weren't preserved for us to examine. They were meant to stay in the tombs. We just stole them
Right.
over the centuries
Yeah,
and
we,
did
we
our own
just
research.
ripped them
Tools,
off. Yeah.
toys, furniture, jewelry, scrolls, and statues found in these tombs tell us what life in Egypt must have been like thousands of years ago. Because the Egyptians were finally conquered by the Romans, the memory of their culture may have disappeared forever if they had not left such detailed accounts of it in the houses of their dead. Oh, cool. This book's all about how mummies are made. I bet it's full of gross stuff. Because the ancient Egyptians believed that they would need their bodies again in the afterlife, the bodies of the dead were carefully preserved. In the time of Akhmet, organs like the lungs, liver, and intestines were removed and sealed in 4 canopic jars. The lids of these jars were carved in the images of horses' 4 sons: a falcon, a baboon, a jackal, and a man.
So Wade, he had 4 sons. Only one of them was human. This guy sounds kind of freaky. I'm just saying.
Well, remember, the Egyptian gods, a lot of them had animal heads.
Yeah, I know.
It was like an art style for them. Anyway, fun fact: back in high school, I actually did a project. I did an art project based on an ancient Egyptian tomb, and there were like some mirrors, and there were some mirrors that reflected a laser, so you could light up a little gem that was by the mummy. And because of this art project, I actually had a set of miniature canopic jars back then. Don't know what happened to them.
Cool.
They disappeared over the years. But
I have a board game that's kind of like that. That you have 2 lasers and like a bunch of little mirror pieces.
ew, ick. The heart was removed and cleaned with perfumed oils and palm wine, then replaced inside the mummy's body so that Anubis, the god of the dead, could weigh it against the feather of truth. If the dead person's deeds were good, the pure heart would balance on the scales, and he or she would be welcomed into the afterlife. Once the
Yeah,
body was...
the people that were preparing these bodies were picking up the heart and going, okay, there's no way this guy's getting in. This is like 5 pounds.
Well, remember, the godly scales probably didn't work on exactly the same system as the
Yeah, I
earthly
know.
scales.
Yeah.
Once the body was cleaned and prepared, it was then packed in a crystal powder called natron to dry. When the dried body was removed from the natron, a special ceremony called opening the mouth was performed by the priests. The Egyptians believed this would magically allow the mummy to eat, drink, and move around in the afterlife.
I have never heard this. I've just learned something. That's
Finally, the mummy was carefully wrapped in strips of linen and placed in a specially decorated coffin or sarcophagus. The Egyptians believed that, preserved in this way, a person's body could be a home for their spirit forever. I don't know about forever, but some of the mummies here at the museum are thousands of years old. Those Egyptians really knew their stuff. Okay, so
and
it
their
mentioned...
stuffing, apparently.
So that was a little bit of an incomplete. That little description mentioned what happens to the hearts that pass the test, but completely ignored what happens to the hearts that failed the weighing. Do you know what happened to them?
I do not actually.
Okay.
I'm assuming
So-
they have to give back any prizes they've won up to that
Well,
point.
Anubis, you'll recall Anubis, the jackal-headed god who it said did the test, did the weighing of the heart.
The one that's outside the movie theater.
No, I'm talking about the actual Anubis that they were talking about.
No, but that's who that is, right? That's Anubis that's outside the movie
I
theater.
think so,
You know what I'm
yeah.
talking about, right?
Anyway, so if they pass the test, if the heart is lighter than the feather or equal, they get to go through and enjoy the afterlife. If the heart is heavier than the feather of truth, then they fail the test and the heart gets fed to Anubis's pet wolf who's sitting by him. And then, because they don't have a heart, that that person gets stuck in the Egyptian version of hell.
What is the Egyptian version of hell?
I don't know. I've never actually read that far into it.
It's where your arms actually get locked like this.
Well, I can't
You,
see what you're
you
showing,
can't
but
see it. I'm doing walk like an Egyptian.
all right, we need to go back into the other room now. So,
The Egyptian version of hell, they just play walk like an
okay.
Egyptian 24
So
hours a
you
day.
see, we went left first, and we learned all about the Egyptians and all about the mummies before we even
Yeah.
knew what was actually wrong in this mystery.
That's fair enough, I suppose.
So now, going into the other room, let's check out the exhibit, and now we'll
Let's
actually
do.
get the mystery.
Let's do. Let's check out the exhibit.
Wow, look at all this gold. These ancient Egyptian pharaohs must have been loaded, but what's all that commotion? He's
This is
new.
an outrage. Huh?
He's new. We haven't seen him before.
Okay. I insist that the entire exhibit be examined and recatalogued so that we may be sure that no other pieces are missing. Mr. Buck.
We have seen him before, but only once or twice, like many weeks ago.
Mr. Assim, I assure you that the museum's taken extreme care to ensure that the artifacts have been kept safe. This piece must simply have been mass placed in the transportation. It was stolen, I tell you. Someone has made off with the heart of Akhmet. If it is not found by nightfall, I will see to it that the entire exhibit is shipped back to Egypt, where it belongs. It belongs in a museum.
It already is in a museum, technically.
Not this one.
Hey, wait a minute. Didn't we just read that the heart gets put back in the body?
Yeah.
So we already know what happened. The rest of this mystery is just a technicality. We solved this out of order. We learned the solution before we even learned the problem.
Oh, jeez. That's
All
funny.
right.
Yeah, they base that on a coin toss, too, because half the players are going to go left, half of them are going to go right.
So let's go ahead and just. We still got it. We still got to read out the rest of this.
Yeah,
So
we'll just walk through the rest of it. This is a nightmare. How can it have happened? Percy Tribb oversaw the entire shipment personally. I'll have his head if he's lost the heart of Akhmet.
have you noticed that Percy Tribb always gets the blame when something happens at the museum?
Yep. That guy, that Percy guy. Why did they hire him? Each and every one of the artifacts found in Akhmet's tomb is a priceless treasure. The Egyptian government was kind enough to lend us the greatest find of our century. I catalogued each of these pieces myself, and as you can see, my records list 5 canopic jars. Here there are only 4. These jars are priceless antiquities. They date back to a time before civilization had even begun in this country. The missing jar contains the mummified heart of Queen Akhmet, an irreplaceable treasure. As representative of the Egyptian National Trust, I am responsible for the safety of the exhibit every moment it is out of Egypt. If the heart of Akhmet is not found by nightfall, I will be forced to order the entire exhibit to be returned to Egypt. I cannot risk any other treasures being stolen, with your crap security and that Percy guy always hanging around.
Hey, wait a minute. If he's the Egyptian representative for ancient treasures coming out of Egypt, you'd think he would know about the traditions of the heart being put back and there being only 4 jars.
You would think that, yeah. Yeah, he's a con man, I bet.
It's not just the English police who are incompetent. It seems everybody in this world is incompetent except the 2 American teenagers.
Well, see, many criminals are in fact incompetent, which is a good thing, because they keep getting caught.
Do you really think that someone stole it? Maybe it's just lost.
It is possible, I suppose, that the piece was lost, but that only proves that the British Museum is incapable of properly looking after the exhibit.
Sir, maybe you don't know what you were trained to be responsible for.
Each tiny piece of this exhibit is priceless. Its value cannot be measured because the pieces are so rare and so ancient that they are completely irreplaceable. My first name is Karen. Collectors will pay unbelievable sums for artifacts of this age and perfection. I believe someone stole the canopic jar containing the heart of Akinmet and sold it. Probably on that eBay. In
eBay
any
didn't
case,
exist yet when the game came out.
he invented it. He will tell you if you give him a couple of drinks. In any case, I'm going to return immediately to the Ritz Hotel and inform my investor, Miss Sereno, of this incident. I shall also call Mr. Amesbury, our other investor, at the Phaeton Club, and wait a minute. At the Phaeton Club, and suggest we make arrange.
Typo.
Suggest we make arrange to move the exhibit back to Cairo tomorrow. The Phaeton Club was okay. So was that the Liars?
Well, the Liars was a one-time thing there. The Fame Club is more than just the Liars. The chess
Okay,
thing, the
okay,
chess thing was also there. I think the book sale was there.
okay.
There was a bunch of stuff that happened at the Phaeton Club.
Just saying, maybe it's a prank, but yeah, I guess not.
All right, let's take a look at the rest of the stuff. A gold statue of Hathor, the goddess of love, beauty, and dancing, stands beside the sarcophagus of Akhmet. Wow, that is so awesome. It must be worth a fortune. The guidebook says that the Egyptians just loved gold. They got lots of it from mines between the Nile River and the Red Sea. They were also really into stones like lapis lazuli, that's the rich blue stone there, and carnelian, the orange red one here. The guidebook says that the Egyptians were able to get a lot of these gems from the deserts that surrounded them, but they were also so wealthy that they were able to buy pretty much whatever else they wanted from other countries. Um,
That's one thing about like Egyptian art. It's got a lot of like really bright, vivid color in it, and I think it's because like they lived in a desert. Man, it was like not
the
not the
canopic
most
jars are
colorful.
hollow containers carved from alabaster. They contain the organs of the dead person that were removed during the mummification process. Hey, wait, if they contain the organs, then they're not hollow, are they?
Nope.
Exactly. This paragraph contradicts itself.
And also, if those contain the organs, where are the pianos?
The four jars on display are sealed with carved lids shaped like animal heads: a falcon, a jackal, a baboon, and a man.
And later, the movie Falcon and the Snowman.
Shabti are little figures in the likeness of the person who has died. They are buried in the same tomb as the dead person's mummy. The Egyptians believed that once people reached the afterlife, they might be asked to work in fields, hoeing and harvesting, like people do on Earth. It was thought that the
She's out.
Shabtis would perform these tasks instead of the dead person.
She was out hoeing in the field. You get what I'm saying?
Wow, look at this! The mummy of Akhmet. The mummy has been partially removed from its linen wrappings. The skin is dark and dry, but remains remarkably preserved. Yikes, I can't believe this person was a real queen of Egypt thousands of years ago. The elaborate gold and inlaid outer coffin of the mummy is called a sarcophagus. It is made in the shape of the mummy's body and painted with many colorful symbols. Painted scenes showing sacrifices being offered to the god Horus and to Anubis, god of the dead, cover the lower half of the sarcophagus.
Do we know how long Egyptians, like royalty and stuff, particularly, would live? Like what their
Now,
lifespan was like? I
I'm
always
not
kinda
sure. I'm
wondered.
not sure if that's relevant here.
No,
The
I'm sure it isn't, but I've always wondered.
the face we can Google later. The face of the sarcophagus has been painted to resemble the person buried within. A scarab, symbol of the sun god, adorns the spot above the mummy's heart.
We
Wow,
almost said
if Akhmet really looked like this, she was beautiful. All right, and then there's one more thing. Great idea. We'll sneak down to the curator's office and see if we can help find the missing jar. Mr. Tribb must have heard about the missing canopic jar. He looks pretty freaked out.
Of course, he knows they're going to blame him for it. Clive Smedley. Well, I did warn Curator Buckley to put me in charge of the exhibit's security, for I am Smedley. The boys would look after this lot proper, not like that Mr. Asim. If he hadn't been so insistent about having his own people move and guard the things, we might have prevented this. Yeah. Though it wouldn't surprise me a bit if that twit Trib had managed to lose the thing. Couldn't tell hedgehogs from badgers, that one, let alone work out which of 1,000 boxes had or hadn't been unpacked. Eh. Mind you, they'll just likely find that old jar out back in a dustbin tomorrow, still wadded up in packing paper. That'll get Trib his comeuppance.
A clipboard holds the records of the exhibit's transfer from Cairo to London. It contains Percy Tribb's sloppy notations and the precise, neat records of Mr. Asim. Percy's notes show no trace of a fifth canopic jar being installed in the museum exhibit. According to his notes, 4 canopic jars were unpacked from a crate. A copy of Mr. Asim's records is attached. They clearly show that a box containing 5 canopic jars was delivered to the museum. The receipt for the jars is signed by Mr. Asim himself. The transport log says that the only people who were allowed access to the exhibit during the move were Mr. Asim, Marcus Amesbury, Miss Serena, and Percy Tribb.
So I bet this is a situation where, well, no, that wouldn't make any sense. Never mind.
Maybe he knows full well that there's only 4 jars, but he recorded a 5th one because
Yeah.
he wanted the exhibit to stay in Egypt where it belongs.
Yep. Or claim the insurance money, or both.
A contract attached to the move agreement records that Miss Serena and Marcus Amesbury will get a percentage of the profits from the ticket and souvenir sales. The British Museum and the Egyptian government share the rest. There is a letter here from Miss Dunbar of Madame Tussaud's Wax Museum on Curator Buckley's desk. The letter thanks Curator Buckley for kindly allowing Madame Tussaud's staff to examine the Akhmet exhibit before it opens. Miss Dunbar assures Curator Buckley that the utmost care was taken to make their wax copies of the exhibit as realistic as possible. Looks like Madame Tussaud's has set up a wax exhibit based on the Akhmet treasures. Maybe we should go check that out.
Ooh, going to Wax Museum, going to Wax Museum. It's going to be fun. Percy Tribb. Oh, Gads, what'll I do? I've checked every shipping label and every receipt and every leftover bit of packing material, and I can't find a trace of this missing bottle, or jar, or Jar Jar Binks, or whatever it is, Misa say.
Jar Jar Binks also did not exist yet when the game came out.
Doesn't matter. Buckley will say, no, yes, he did, because it was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, this game came out in 93. Jar Jar Binks was introduced in 99.
Yeah, but if it was a real character, then he would have been like a long time ago. Anyway, Buckley'll sack me for sure. He's just been waiting for an opportunity to have me out of the way. He's nervous that I'll be noticed by the board and promoted to curator myself. I'm doomed, doomed, doomed. Well, that's just it. It's obvious, isn't it? I am doomed. I helped arrange the mummy's departure from Egypt, and now the old hag's taking her revenge. It's the curse of the mummy. She's found a way to get herself back home. She's managed to... Okay, those are words. She's managed to physically disintegrate every trace of the canoptic jar containing her heart. That way the Egyptian government will insist that fellow Asim bring her back to her tomb in Cairo. Oh, but why me? Why must these things always happen to me? It seems our lot in life is to suffer. I wish I'd never seen that filthy old mummy. 'Cause she's gross.
Alright, that's everything we can do in the museum. Now we can go to these other places.
And she smells of cheese.
Okay. We have a couple other places to go. We'll go to the Wax Museum first.
Things to see, places to be.
And then we'll meet the 2 investors.
We'll
Check it out. That mummy, I mean sarcophagus, looks just like the one in the British Museum.
Yes, this one came from Temu. Temu.com. Give me a hand here, Astrid dear, won't you? I've just got to get this headpiece straight. Oh, hello, Uncle. Oh, hello, Jennifer. How are you two today?
Great, thanks. We've just come to check out your mummy display. It looks exactly like the one at the British Museum.
Yes, we studied the mummy and sarcophagus of Akhmet very carefully so that we get all the details right. We even got copies of X-rays from the Egyptian National Trust. They were odd things like broken arms and legs, didn't have anything to do with Egypt, but we got them anyway. The mummy and her artifacts are very fragile, so our staff weren't allowed to handle them in any way. But with the help of photographs and videotape, I think our sculptors had done a superb job. The display's been giving me the horrors. The sarcophagus and all the goodies are all right, but the mummy, just our wax copy's creepy enough to keep me up at night. Also, meth. I suppose I've just watched too many Boris Karloff films, but I keep expecting it to come to life and take some horrible revenge on the people who've disturbed its rest. Like me. I poked her nose. You know, when we were getting all the snaps and videos to work from, I heard there'd been quite a few mysterious accidents since Queen Akenmet came to stay. Do you suppose there's a curse on the British Museum since they moved her out of a tomb? I just hope wax copies don't count for curses.
If you
If you
like.
like,
Oh, wait, that's you, right. Sorry, my bad.
it's all right. If you like, come and have a look in the back room where we get it all together. Just be careful not to touch anything. Miss Dunbar would have a right tiz.
Oh, I just realized there's a bunch of stuff out here we haven't looked at yet either. We'll look at it on our way out of the room.
Oh, hey, Daft Punk. Awesome.
This place always gives me the creeps. Those heads look a little too real.
Work it. Make it.
The
Do it.
X-rays, X-rays of the mummy from the Egyptian National Trust show the outlines of bones and other dark shapes under the mummy wrappings. Astrid, what are those lumps in the mummy's bandages?
According to the Egypt National Trust notes, they're bits of jewelry and ornaments. The Egyptians locked up their dead with loaded up their dead, not locked up, with lovely things that they thought they'd enjoy in the afterlife. A pack of smokes and, case of beer. They've unwrapped and examined all this, but we're sculpting our wax mummy to look just as she would have in a tomb. See? If you look carefully, you can see the massive rings on her fingers and the jeweled heart scarab on her chest.
What's a heart scarab?
Oh, the Egyptians were mad about scarabs. They made all kinds of jewelry and magical items in the shape of scarabs. Brilliant stuff, I think, and quite fashionable today as well. Real scarabs were these horrid, great big beetles that rolled a ball of dung with their eggs in it across the desert sands. Disgusting. But the Egyptians thought that a giant scarab rolled the sun across the sky, so to them it was a very powerful symbol. The heart scarab's got a funny little story to it. It was wrapped tight against the real heart of the mummy and had an inscription on it saying something to the effect of, "Don't tell on me in the afterlife, ha! I'm playing a prank with my immortal soul, ha!" Since the Egyptians thought their hearts would be weighed by the gods after they died, they wanted to be sure that their hearts wouldn't tell any of the awful things they did in life. I suppose they imagined they'd be there in the court of Anubis, he's the creepy-looking one with the jackal head, and their hearts would suddenly pipe up something like, "Don't let Astrid into the afterlife. She used to pinch her brother's chocolates."
On the work table, there is a small wax display of ancient Egyptian cosmetics. I read about this stuff in the British Museum's guidebook. The ancient Egyptians were really into makeup and fashion. Even men wore makeup and wigs.
That's where guy liner came from.
They used eye paints made out of mineral powders and curled their hair with metal tongs. Some of the women had such fancy hairdos that they slept propped up on wooden headrests so they wouldn't mess up their hair.
Much like today.
Archaeologists found all the stuff, eye makeup, hair curlers, combs, and perfume in the tombs, so I guess the Egyptians thought they would need them in the afterlife too. Alright, we have a few more things to look at out here.
Yep.
The display contains a collection of 4 canopic jars. These canopic jars are wax copies of the originals. The wax sarcophagus is an exact duplicate of the original at the British Museum. Metallic paints have been used to make the wax look like gold. Plastic gems and stones have been used to imitate the jewels of the original. Alright, we have to meet with the 2 investors now, and then we can solve this thing. We've already solved this thing, but...
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I mean, we solved it like 25 minutes ago. The rest of this is just a technicality. Mr. Sim said that Marcus Amesbury helped to finance the mummy exhibit. Let's see what he knows about the canopic jar and the mummy's curse.
The curse of the mummy. Curse? What drivel? Rubbish thought up by press agents to sell more tickets. Not that I mind. The more gawkers in the doors, the more lolly for me. Like lollies. All these old Egyptian pharaohs had curses written to protect their tombs. They really believed in all that magic and hocus pocus. Balderdash, I say. Poppycock. Pshaw. Besides, curses have people dropping dead or being caught off by walking mummies or something, don't they? This missing jar sounds more like carelessness than curses, if you ask me. Somebody probably thought it was one of those stupid Yeti things and filled it up with iced tea.
Then you don't think anyone stole it?
A moldy old jar with a dried up heart in it? Ugh, I should think not. If someone had their eye on something in that exhibit, it'd be some of that lovely gold. And they got a lot of that. Sorry, take a drink. Fabulous great piles of gold. Everywhere you look, there's glittering statues, jewelry, and masses of little trinkets studded with precious gems. That's what I'm gonna go for when the exhibit closes. That's what a thief would go for. That's what I was saying.
It's such a cool exhibit. Are they really going to pack it all up and send it back to Cairo now?
It's up to Asim, I'm afraid. We had a time and a half getting him to agree to letting the stuff out of Egypt at all, you see. Seems he's really here on a protest. I think he's going to pack it all up and send it off to eBay. Asim runs the Akhmet Museum, and apparently he's got quite a stake in it. Every tourist through its doors is money in his pocket. I'm sure he'd rather the exhibit was there making him money in Cairo, but when all's said and done, the artifacts belong to the Egyptian government, and they decided a touring exhibit would be great publicity for him.
All right, now we got to meet up with the other investor, and then we can finally close this thing.
So it's like the world tour of Akhenaten or whatever.
So yeah, so now we have a motive. We know he lied about there being a fifth jar, but now we know why. Because the mummies make him money if they're in Egypt, but if they're touring, they don't.
And remember we were talking about Jar Jar. Mr. Asim's name can be rearranged to spell Misa.
Yeah. Mr. Asim and Miss Serena are staying here at the Ritz while they're in London. Nothing but the best for them.
I'm very disturbed by this God, what is... Man, I am so not with it. I'm very disturbed by this careless I'm very disturbed by this careless handling of my country's treasures. I warned my superiors at the Egyptian National Trust that if we took Queen Akhmet out of the country, this was bound to happen. Just go to the next line, good lord. The entire venture was a mistake. From the start, there were signs of trouble. Miss Serena, our esteemed investor, promised to pay for the transportation of the treasures herself in exchange for a percentage of the tour profits. I told her to get stuffed. But at the last moment, her finances fell through, and we were forced to ask for Mr. Amesbury's help. I wasn't given the time to check into his background at all. Our need was so great. Now that we're finally here, someone's stolen one of Akhmet's priceless treasures. Excuse me. Who knows? Perhaps more of the treasures have been stolen or were placed by fakes. I myself will carefully check each piece before we return to Egypt. And let me assure you, we will be returning immediately. I cannot risk another theft. You're taking money out of my pocket now. Okay, this person sounds like this. I've had about enough of Mr. Asim and his suspicions. I put everything I had into this project, and now it looks like he's going to pack it all up and have it sent back to Egypt before anyone ever sees it. I won't make any money on this at all if they don't open it to the public and charge the admission fee we agreed upon. I can't even make TikTok videos if we don't do that. If this exhibit doesn't open, I'll sue that nincompoop Buckley and his museum for every pound they've got, and also every ounce. That fool Trib better have an explanation. I don't want to hear another word from him about the mummy's curse. And I also want to talk to your manager.
All right, let's solve this thing because we've already
Yeah,
solved it.
yeah, I'm getting stupid. Let's do this.
Oh, look at this pun here.
Wrap up the
I think we
mummy.
can wrap up the mummy mystery. Okay. Mr. Sim says that there was a fifth canopic jar that is missing. He doesn't want the exhibit to be in London in the first place, so of course he would lie about something like that. So it wasn't that he was being incompetent. It's that he was intentionally creating a lie so that he would have an excuse to take everything back to Egypt.
Lies! Oh, lies! Thank you for our visit.
All right. Nothing on this page is relevant.
I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna stop trying to make words and just make funny noises.
All right. We're going to go through pages and pages about Egyptian culture before we get to the actual relevant stuff, aren't we?
Me. That's my first weird noise. There will be more.
The heart was cleaned and then replaced inside the mummy's body.
Natron. Sounds like some kind of environmental superhero.
Yeah.
Don't dump that toxic waste over there, man. Natron's gonna get you.
All right. Percy Tribb has checked everywhere and can't find a trace of the fifth canopic jar. That's because it doesn't exist.
Curse of the Mummy. Help make the original.
All right. Percy Tribb's notes list only 4 canopic jars.
Yep. His notes are very sloppy, but they're still notes. So he signed the receipt for the part jars himself.
We're only at 1 clue, so we have a redundant clue somewhere.
Wait, yeah, go.
Let's keep the one about the notes saying there were only 4.
All right, yeah.
And then we can do this one,
and
which says that he's.
Wait, the next one I would say instead. The only people who are allowed access to the exhibit, Mr.
Well, yeah, but that's this one's more specific. This one specifically says that he said that there were 5 jars. He has a motive. Yeah. He has a motive. So for our last clue, we have to pick the clue.
Yeah, he's literally got receipts, or we literally have receipts.
All right, this is irrelevant. This is about the wax museum's part in the exhibit. Mr. Asim is losing money while the exhibit is out of Egypt because tourists won't go to his museum in Cairo when the exhibit is not there.
Yep. That's not our smoking gun, but it's the photo of the guy loading up the bullets.
So, Mr. Asim, he made up the whole thing.
Yep. And they would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for you meddling kids.
This is our only picture of an unmummified Queen Akhmet, so enjoy it for a moment. All right, let's go on.
I'll enjoy it later.
You got it. There was no 5th canopic jar. Akhmet's heart is inside the mummy. Mr. Asim started making a fuss because he said that a 5th canopic jar, the one holding the heart of Akhmet, was missing from the exhibit. But we learned in the library that in Akhmet's day, the heart of the mummy was not put in a canopic jar at all. The Egyptians believed that the heart had to be weighed by Anubis to see if it was pure, so they left it inside the mummy. Akhmet's mummy even had a special scarab placed over the heart to tell it not to give away any secrets to the gods. Mr. Amesbury told us that Mr. Asim was losing money every day that the Akhmet exhibit was out of Egypt because he owns the museum in Cairo that makes a lot of money when the exhibit is there. The real proof was that Mr. Asim's records list the 5th canopic jar with a receipt for it signed by himself. How can he have signed for something that didn't exist? Mr. Asim wanted to find a way to get Akhmet back to Cairo as soon as possible. By making it look as though the British Museum had lost a piece of the exhibit, he could force them to return it right away. He knew that they would never be able to find the canopic jar he listed as missing because it never existed. Akhenmet's heart is still inside her mummy, where it's been for 4,000 years.
I'm surprised the constant boom 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 didn't alert anyone that the heart
I'm,
was in there.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that all the so-called Egyptian experts who were involved with this exhibit never called Mr. Asim out on his lie.
Okay, I was just about to go into a Huey Lewis bit. Give me 1 second. Cause the heart of Akhenmet still beating. Okay. Now I gotta do Radio Guy. This is like the most low energy show I think I've ever done. This is terrible. I need caffeine. That's what it is. Young sleuths solve mummy caper. Detectives Uncle Evie and Jennifer Eagle of America's Eagle Eye Detective Agency solve the mystery surrounding the disappearance of a supposed artifact from the new Treasures of Akhenmet exhibit at the British Museum. Museum curator Hargreaves gushed, "Uncle saved."
Why? Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Why did it? We lost the second page. Let's see if we can go back and recover it.
Oh no! There.
Let's click through the. Let's click through the other case.
I remember.
All right, museum curator Hargreaves gushed, "Uncle saved." There we go.
There we go. Uncle, Radio Guy, yeah. Uncle saved our skins. He used his knowledge of ancient Egypt to figure out that the missing piece could not have existed. The fraud was set up to force the museum to return the exhibit to Egypt immediately to profit a greedy Cairo museum owner.
Now we can go on.
Whose life is now ruined thanks to us kids. Yay.
Case of the Wax Whodunit.
She's got a computer. Why is she reading a paper? Hey. Jennifer, can you and Uncle come round to Scotland Yard? They've nabbed a spy, but he's left a bit of a mystery behind. And Scotland Yard is apparently as incompetent as everyone else in town, so yeah.
A spy. Is he from Russia, Aunt Em, and did he steal some secrets? You know, like in those old James Bond movies?
He's not from Russia, he's from a computer company, and he stole a secret from another computer company here in London. Scotland Yard caught him, but they can't find the secret. That's the mystery.
So, if he stole a secret, how would Scotland Yard be able to know that he stole a secret without even being able to know what the secret was? I mean, it's like, how do you know something has happened if you don't know what has happened? If you don't know anything's happened, how do you know that it happened? I don't even know what I'm trying to ask anymore. Sounds like maybe we can help. We'll be right there. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get out of here. Go to the thing and do the thing and put somebody in jail, because that's what I like. I like doing that. I like watching them cry when they load them into the car with the handcuffs, when they deliberately bonk their head on the door panel.
Aunt Miranda's talking to Inspector Gage. This must be a really important case.
I saw the video that the telly crews took of the spy's arrest. It was quite dramatic. When they hauled him out of the museum into the... What? Panda car? I guess because it's black and white. They hauled him out of the museum into the panda car. He shouted, "Off with her head! Off with her head!" He shouted it right to the cameras. Sounded like a loony. We caught the spy, but he didn't have the stolen microfilm with him. He must have hidden it somewhere, and we don't know where. We did a full body cavity search, but it was, not to mention disgusting, unfruitful. We also know he had an accomplice, but we didn't catch her. We're very worried she might get her hands on the microfilm and send it out of the country.
Do you have any idea where the spy left the microfilm, Inspector?
When we tried to grab him, he ran into Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. I'm pretty sure he had the microfilm in there. but we'll never find it if we don't know where to look. I will inspect the figure of Britney Spears.
Can we question the spy? Maybe we can get him to tell us where he hid the microfilm.
No, no, I just need to look at the figure of Britney Spears. No, we're holding the spy incommunicado. That means he can't talk to anybody. He might give his partner a clue that would lead her to the microfilm. He hasn't said anything except off with her head.
Actually, that's giving me vibes myself.
What?
Yeah, that's giving me vibes. It could be King Henry VIII because he beheaded two of his
Oh,
wives, or it could be
yeah,
the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
yeah, yeah.
Already,
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
got two potential places where the microfilm is hiding, if it's going to be in the Wax Museum.
This is true. But you can go to the Wax Museum if you like. It's guarded by the police. Just don't touch anything, and sing out if you see an itty bitty piece of film with mathematical formulae on it. Sing out loud. Sing out strong. Sing your song.
Back to the Wax Museum. I feel like we were just there.
Back to the wax.
Actually,
See, that's the only thing in London. They don't tell you that in the brochures. Who was she?
this was a lady cop who showed up a couple times.
Yeah, no, this was K9. This was K9. Okay.
Hello, children. I must warn you to stay eight. What's all this? Something's happening in the back room. Lively now. Let's investigate.
That room. It's where they prepare exhibits for the Wax Museum. And it looks like someone has broken in.
It must have been the other spy. She was trying to steal these wax dummy heads. She must think the microfilm is in one of them. She couldn't have gotten far. I'll dash back and alert your patrol cars to give chase. See if you two can figure out which head the microfilm is in. Please don't rip them to pieces while you're doing so.
These are the 4 heads being prepared by the staff of the Wax Museum for upcoming exhibits. Hey, the wax is still warm. I bet that earlier today the wax was real soft. The spy could have pushed the microfilm inside and quickly smoothed over the hole. I bet he hid the stolen secret in one of these heads. When he yelled, "Off with her head," he must have been trying to tell his partner about the wax heads. Maybe it's a clue about which one.
You called it.
We don't want to melt them all down if we can help it. It takes the artists days to create each one. Let's look at the heads one by one. Someone's marked these according to which display they belong to. These first 3 are marked famous faces from fiction, and the last one is marked Henry VIII. Didn't I say he was a suspect?
What's that?
Didn't I say he was a suspect?
Yeah, that's what I said. You called
Okay,
it.
this one is tagged Lewis Carroll. He's the guy who wrote Alice in Wonderland. Didn't I say Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland also?
You did. Yep.
We could find out about him at the British Library. The next head is labeled The Woman Who Outsmarted Sherlock Holmes. I wonder who she is. Maybe we can find out about her at the Sherlock Holmes pub.
It says right there she's Irene Adler.
The tag says Pink Floyd.
What?
Weird. That's the name of a rock group, not a real person. I have one of their CDs back at the Garret. CDs. This was the year that CDs came out. This was the year. This was the year of the original Myst, the game that made CDs popular.
So why is there a Pink Floyd with one? That's weird.
I don't know, but he's not a
That's very
suspect in this right now, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah, but it's very strange.
But you see, Jennifer's mentioning CDs. This
Yeah,
game
yeah,
came
yeah.
out the same year as Myst, the original Myst, which was the first game to be put on CD. And it's the game that made CD drives popular in computers. Are you familiar
Yep,
with Myst?
Oh yeah, I played it many times.
Yeah.
I had it when it came out.
I've done Myst on the channel before, but you know what would be cool? Going through Myst together.
Yeah, maybe I could see that. I liked the stream that you did with I want to say it was called Pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
This one's labeled Jane Seymour. Our guidebook says that she was one of the 6 wives of Henry VIII. I remember he had some of his wives beheaded at the Tower of London. I wonder if she was one of them. I know one of the Annes was, although I think Jane was his favorite wife. She's the one who died of illness, I think. So it may not be Jane Seymour, but it's worth noting because right now we have it narrowed down to King Henry VIII, if that's one of the 2 beheaded wives, or or the whole Alice in Wonderland thing with the Queen of Hearts. It's one of those two.
This is true, and I know it's got to be one of those two. But the Pink Floyd thing is still bothering me because there is no person named Pink Floyd, and why
It's
would
probably
they
a
have
wax head of
that?
one of the band members.
Yeah, but they should have labeled it with the band
Oh,
members' name.
good. Jake's here. We can look at the Pink Floyd CD together and try to figure out whether Off With Her Head is a song title or some other kind of clue. Oh, Jake actually gets to be a part of this. Should I read for this because I read for him before?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this is the only mystery in which Jake and Jennifer actually talk to each other. I could be wrong on
Oh,
that, though. Hey,
right.
Jake,
On
we're
a
on a
very special
case.
episode.
We think microfilm may be hidden in one of 4 wax heads, and one of the heads is labeled Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd, I was just reading something about one of their albums. It's like the most popular album of all time. It was released over 20 years ago and stayed on the charts for 15 years. It's
Every
called
human being has bought a copy of the album at one point or
it's
another.
called Dark Side of the Moon. Isn't that the one you have, Jenster? The one with the cash machines and money sounds and spacey noises?
I can't believe they're doing Pink Floyd references. This is wild.
Is the expression Off With Her Head on that album or any of Pink Floyd's albums? The guy who stole the microphone said the guy who stole the microfilm said that. We think it's a clue. No, I know every song on the album and there's nothing like that. The story about Pink Floyd didn't mention anything like that either. What a creepy clue. So it's not Pink Floyd. And we can move on and look at these other 3 things.
Yeah, but that's still weird.
We're
I
going
mean,
to go to the Sherlock Holmes pub.
they could have said Paul McCartney or literally anyone else other than Pink Floyd. It could be Sid Barrett's face, maybe.
Look, they have all kinds of Sherlock Holmes stuff in frames on the walls. Maybe there's something about the mysterious woman we saw at the Wax Museum.
Irene Adler.
Irene
Yeah,
Adler, perhaps the only person who ever outsmarted Sherlock Holmes. In the story, A Scandal in Bohemia, he cleverly discovered a secret of hers, but she escaped just as cleverly.
and then they wrote a song about it. Come on, Irene. Oh, I swear. Pardon me, please, but I see you're interested in Irene Adler. My name is Mr. Maypole, and I'd be simply thrilled to chat about Sherlock Holmes and his foes. To Sherlock Holmes, Irene Adler was the woman. He was too devoted to his work to think about romance or marriage, but she earned his interest and his respect because she was actually as clever and intelligent as he.
But do the words Off With Her Head have anything to do with Irene Adler or Sherlock Holmes?
No, I would say not.
All right, so
All right,
now
all right, we're done. Yep, moving along. We pop in, ask a question, and leave. Gotta go. Starbucks has their holiday cups again. I want to go
hey,
see
he's
them
back.
and watch conservative people get angry.
Good day, Mr. Sneed. We're looking for information about Lewis Carroll.
Ah, an excellent choice of authors. So many people these days just want the sappy biography of some film star or some dreadful modern horror story. But Lewis Carroll, now there's some great writing, most clever and original. And his pages were lemon scented, which is fine. The writer we know as Lewis Carroll was actually a shy mathematician named Charles Dodgson, who lived in Christchurch, Oxford from 1851 on. He had a speech impediment. He stammered. So he chose to do much of his conversation with people through letters. He had a wonderful mastery of the English language. He loved children, and especially loved to tell them made-up stories. perhaps because he stammered less when talking with them. Among his favorites was a girl named Alice Liddell who lived nearby. One day he began telling Alice and her sisters a make believe story where Alice traveled through a mirror to an imaginary place called Wonderland, where she met all sorts of strange creatures. The story was so good he put. Sorry. The story was so good he was persuaded to write it down. Soon, Through the Looking Glass and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland were hailed as classic tales of imagination.
Does anyone in his stories ever say "off with her head"?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, a character called the Queen of Hearts is famous for shrieking off with her head to Alice.
And now we have one more place to visit, the Tower of London, which is where King Henry VIII beheaded two of his wives. So
Tower of London.
the question, though, is Jane Seymour one of the two, or is she one of the four who didn't get the axe? Let's ask the
She.
St. Crispin's cadets about Jane Seymour. Perhaps she was one of the people who was beheaded here on the Tower Green.
No, she survived and went on to go in that Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman show, I think. Simon.
Yes, Jane Seymour was one of the wives of Henry VIII. Although why anyone would marry that mean old badger, I haven't a clue. Well, 6 women did marry him. Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr. Some of his wives he divorced, one died of fever, and 2 were killed on his orders. If you displeased the king too much in those days, you could be executed for treason. Both Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard were beheaded right here in this courtyard, almost 500 years ago. It's said their ghosts still haunt us. That's Darren. Because they were queens, they were granted the privilege of having the grisly deed done here in relative privacy. More common people were executed on Tower Hill instead.
Did Henry VIII say "off with their heads"?
I don't think so. He probably said, by the power vested in me as lawful king of this land, I hereby regretfully sentence you to death for treason or some other such garbage. I don't know.
Did Henry VIII order Jane Seymour's head chopped off?
Oh no, he actually seemed to be quite fond of Jane. For one thing, she gave him a son, a male heir, which was quite the big deal in those days. No, Jane Seymour died young of fever, and so did her son, who became king after Henry VIII died.
Who was Henry's son? If we look on the chart of monarchs in the Eagle Eye Handbook, we should be able to figure it out. That's you.
Oh, what? Okay, hang on.
All right, so who immediately followed Henry VIII?
I don't have it loaded. Hang on a sec. I can get it up here. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't see the page. Let me see if it's in my bookmarks here.
After this mystery, can we do a quick water break?
Yeah, we'll need to. I'm gonna run outside and slap myself with a frozen fish. I think that'll help. Where is my link? My link's vanished. It was supposed to be in my bookmarks. Hang on, I'll just find it real quick.
I'm also gonna hit up some protein while we're breaking.
You know what? I'm gonna use my phone. That might be better.
I think after break we'll balance it out with 2 more and then call it.
All right. Did you see where their Paramount Pictures or whatever, they're doing a thing at Universal Studios for Star Trek? It's almost like the Star Trek experience again, but they're only doing it for like 2 weeks or something. I can't make it out there by then. All right, let's see what we got here. Excuse me.
So who immediately follows Henry VIII?
I'm still getting to it here. There's a number of these, but they're all software installs. How did I find it last time? Let me try manual. Yeah, no, nothing. Hang on, let me see if it's in my cache here. Hold
I'm
on a
just
sec.
going to Dr. Google.
No, I got it. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
I was about to go to Dr. Google.
Yeah, no, I got it in my cache. Okay, what are we trying to figure out? Who came after Henry VIII? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is all the hieroglyph stuff. Oh, here, Reign of the Monarchs. Okay, hold on. Now I gotta zoom in. Beep, 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 bow, bow, beep, bow, bow. Beep, 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 bow. I didn't want to turn the page. I want to. There. The House of York. So Henry the Eighth. Henry the Eighth. Henry.
Sounds like Hugh's home.
Yeah, they took these scans with a potato, I think.
We're
Stop
streaming.
doing that. There we go. Henry VIII, here we go. Edward the Sixth.
Edward the Sixth?
Yep.
Is that your final answer?
Yep.
All right, clicking now.
Hey, BretTheBreton.
What's up, Q? How goes, man?
It's been a long day, and I got another one tomorrow.
We're doing our midstream break in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, because we're both shot. I'm shot. It was such a long week. I am so exhausted. I don't know why I'm so exhausted. I do know why, but
I did double today. I have a triple tomorrow.
you should really lay off the cheeseburgers.
Please empty the laundry machines before you go to bed tonight.
I'll see what I can do.
Anything you want to say to the people while you're here?
Apparently, my boss is treating us to Easter dinner after the show on Sunday. So that'll be cool.
Oh, nice. Where at?
At work.
Ah, okay.
All right, let's wrap up this mystery so we can.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know I had to do the line. I just flipped back over and went, okay.
That's right, Uncle. Jane Seymour's son was King Edward VI, but just like his mother, he also died quite young of fever.
Okay, so we have enough to actually solve this and go on break.
That's it? Okay. Yeah, alright.
Let's put our heads together. Okay, so the commentary is relevant to something in the mystery.
Our trip.
Microphone's on.
I know. Our trip to Gales went from maybe to probably.
Oh, you really want to see Baby, don't you?
I want to see the whole family.
Yeah. All right. He shouted off with her head. That's a clue. The four heads is background information. That's not. We don't want to waste a clue on that.
Still more one of the wax heads is marked Lewis Carroll. It goes through.
One of the wax heads is marked Lewis Carroll.
Mm-hmm. See why the writer we know is Lewis Carroll.
Hold on. Let's see here. He wrote Alice in Wonderland. Queen of Hearts shrieks off with her head. And let me just go through and make sure we don't need anything else. Here's the Sherlock Holmes. Here's Jane Seymour. But Jane Seymour was not beheaded.
Jane Seymour. Beautiful girl.
So we're going with Lewis Carroll unless you have any objections.
I don't know what's happening, so I don't care. I'm so out of it, man. So Lewis Carroll, what did Lewis Carroll do?
He
The
wrote Alice in
microfilm.
Wonderland,
Okay.
Queen of Hearts off with her head.
Yeah, okay. So why wasn't it the other one?
Because the wax head representing Henry VIII was Jane Seymour, who was not one of the two beheaded wives. Jane Seymour was Henry VIII's favorite wife, who died young, which is why he had to marry again after her. King Henry VIII beheaded two, divorced two, um, and his favorite is the one who died naturally. And then, after he died, his final wife outlived him. So he divorced the first one, Catherine of Aragon, beheaded the second one, which was Anne Boleyn, and then there was Jane Seymour was the third one. She's the one who died of illness, the one who was mentioned here. Then there was Anne of Cleves, who I think was a divorce, and then Catherine. In some order, I always get these two confused because they were at the end of the timeline. Catherine Parr and Catherine Howard. The fifth was beheaded. The sixth one survived him when he died. So that's the nutshell timeline of King Henry's six wives. There's a whole musical about it. In fact, it's called Six.
Yeah, we talked about it before.
But here's a warning. Six is one of the musicals you want to avoid live if you have seizure issues. They
Oh,
really
really?
go. It's the Wives of King Henry VIII, but they turn it into like a big pop contest. It's like a big uh, rock star contest between the six wives to see who had the worst life or something. And so they go over the top with these show-stopping numbers and big dramatic stage lights, and yeah, it even set me off. And I don't have seizure issues, but it set off my it set off my triggers for my other issues. That's how intense the lighting was in that show. It's like full on rock concert rave lights that they use for that show.
Yeah.
All right.
When I fold my tripod up just a certain way, it looks kind of like a space laser.
All right, we have a choice here. We can either take a break and do two more, or we can skip the break, go straight through one more, and call it. What do you want to do?
Oh man, I gotta get some water or something. I'm just
All
like,
right, so yeah, it just feels awkward to break and then only do one. So
yeah, yeah. I don't know if you think we can get through it in 20 minutes, we could do that, and that puts us at 2 hours.
yeah,
I think we could probably do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I mean, we if we were just getting water, and we kept the break to 2 minutes, that's not really much of a break anyway. So we could do it that way if that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I literally was just gonna run in and grab something out of the fridge. So
And
we don't even need to go to break. I just set my headphones down.
I literally just need to run over the kitchen for like, and if I'm just getting water, it'll only take like 2 minutes. If I was getting water and a snack, then it would take longer. But if we're
All
just
right. Well,
getting water,
yeah, you go ahead and do yours then, and I'll just wait here and keep our
we have
no
to finish this
viewers
one up though. We
entertained.
have to read the recap though.
What's that?
We have to finish the recap for this mystery. We have the debriefing. You got it. The spy hid the microfilm inside the head marked Lewis Carroll. To escape Scotland Yard, the spy ducked into Madame Tussaud's wax museum. He knew he had to hide the microfilm he had stolen, but where? In the back room, he found four wax heads that had just been taken from their molds. Thinking quickly, he pushed the microfilm into the soft wax of one of them and covered up the hole. Then he was caught. How could he tell his partner where the microfilm was? When he was dragged outside, he shouted a cryptic clue: "Off with her head." That was clever. It not only told his partner to find the stolen secret in a wax head, it also told her which one it was in. We found out "off with her head" was a favorite expression of the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland. That pointed to the wax head of Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice and other children's books.
I'm gonna be a unicorn.
I have a tripod stuck to my head. I'm gonna be a unicorn. We're doing the thing here. Computer secrets found in wax head. Secrets stolen from a London computer firm were recovered today. I was thinking it was Tuesday. Recovered today at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum thanks to Eli detective Uncle Evie. The young sleuth's investigation led him to
Uh,
a wax head of the author Lewis Carroll. It was the phrase "off with her head" that led us to the microfilm, explained Jennifer Eagle. Uncle found out that one of the Lewis Carroll's characters, the Queen of Hearts, was famous for shrieking that phrase.
all right, so let's get some water. Let's not do a full break. Let's grab some water, regroup, and we'll do
Yeah,
one more.
yeah. If you just want to mute your mic and go ahead and go, and then I'll go when you come back, and I'll keep our invisible ghost viewers entertained.
All right.
Oh hey, oh my God, we have a viewer. Hey Luna, hi. Sorry, I am so not with it.
Yeah. I think, given how you're feeling, because I could go two more, but it seems like you're the weakest link tonight, actually. So yeah, let's just go.
Yeah,
Let's just get some water. Go one more, because it's awkward to end after only two.
we switched places from last time. I'm like sitting here trying to stay awake.
Yeah.
Hey Shinobu, what's up? So yeah, it's my job. Yeah, if you want to go, go ahead and do the thing, and that way I can get a water. So yeah, go ahead. Okay, he's gone. Let's talk about him. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, it's my job to keep you folks entertained for the next minute and a half to 2 minutes while Evan runs to do something, and I have no idea how to do that right now. I barely know what my name is. It's been a very long week, and I haven't gotten a lot of sleep at work. Sleep at work. It's been a very long week at work, and I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. Yes, I curl up on my desk. But I don't know if you saw. Excuse me. I sent you a TikTok, Shinobu, about the sort of, kind of, maybe ish new. It's temporary. I say that beforehand so as not to get anyone too excited, but it's like a temporary Star Trek The Experience. And they're doing it in wherever Universal Studios Hollywood is. They've got like the whole bridge set, and they've got actors that guide you through the scenes, and they've got the sick bay set up and all these different sets from the actual show. And it's the same kind of a thing as Star Trek: The Experience. They have you. They have you. You're basically kind of playing a character, sort of. It's the group version of audience participation, I guess. You don't really do a lot except kind of run from place to place, kind of like the first experience, but it still looks really cool. And they have special merchandise, of course, like Star Trek suits and prop replicas and things like that. Wouldn't surprise me if they actually had show used props on there. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, it's at Universal Studios Hollywood, and the problem is it's only going to be there for like 3 weeks or something like that. They went to all this trouble for 3 weeks, and I'm like, no, no, open it, install it, it'd be great. Um, One thing that is kind of silly. They're doing the whole thing where they transport people, quote unquote, to the Enterprise, just like in the experience. But of course, there's no $500,000 elevator room system that does it in this one. No, apparently they have a projector or multiple projectors probably shining on a film of mist that you walk through, I guess, or they spritz you with mist and it's all shiny and crackly like transporter static. I don't know, but yeah, I mean it looks cool. I just really wish it was permanent rather than just a 3 week deal or 2 weeks or however long it is. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I have to go to this. This is great. They're bringing it back. They're bringing it back. They're only bringing it back for 2 weeks. Okay, so when are the 2 weeks? 2 weeks from now. Okay, so that means I can't afford a plane ticket. Uh, so it's not going to be permanent. So where, pray tell, is it? Maybe I can drive there. No, it's the exact opposite end of the nation in which I live. Hey. And to top it all off, the real ID thing and all that. So, um, you know, there's a time limit on getting that done. So, one in my country could theoretically, pop over there. And I'm telling you, I will guarantee you, when they do finally enact that thing and say, okay, today's the day, we're doing it today, we've gotten all the way up to the day without changing our minds on anything. So now, guess what? It's time for real ID. Did I hear an Evie? You there? Would you like to hear me ramble about
Well, you couldn't
real
have heard me
ID
because my
some more?
microphone was muted. But my Discord
I,
microphone was not muted. I only muted in the studio, so you might have
I
heard
was
me
gonna
just now.
say no. I heard something. I heard an Evie voice.
So yeah, so it's like I mute in the studio and I always forget to mute the Discord. So yeah, I sorry about that. I got protein in hand. If you want to get your water, grab it, and then let's get this last mystery going.
Awesome. All right. And like I said, I'm just gonna keep my stream running and everything for the peeps on my stream. Stay in that position right there. That looks wonderful. Looks perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Now pout, baby, pout, and I'll be right back.
And I'm just gonna munch the protein I pulled while we wait for him to get back. Don't you usually take your breaks at the same time? Usually, microphone's on, Glenn. I was just wondering. Usually, but we wanted to keep the break short, so we decided to trade off breaks this time. Hmm. Please excuse my lack of stuff to talk about because I don't really have anything new to share at this point. Probably streaming Lego tomorrow. Just haven't figured out what yet.
I return.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Alright, let's see where we're going now. We're going to the case of the reticent Romeo. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready as I'm gonna be. I opted for a code red instead of a water because I gotta get some caffeine, man. Woo. Nigel.
For his first and last appearance tonight, since we're only going short tonight.
Yeah. Sexy, sexy Nigel. Okay.
Hey Jennifer, how about turning your detective skills to a good cause? A good cause, a matter of the heart.
I'm not sure that's
Because
the kind of thing I would want to meddle in, Nigel.
because I'm in love with you, you see. Ha ha ha. It wouldn't be meddling, Jennifer. It would be unmeddling. Unmuddling. What? My pal Alison Simone got an anonymous love song in the mail. She doesn't know which of her friends sent it.
Why does this music get louder? Hold on a minute. There's one track on this playlist or whatever it is that's like not normalized. There we go.
I told her you'd help her figure it out in time to ask the right one to the Bang Your Head concert tomorrow night. What you say?
A musical mystery. Alright, come on, let's go see if we can figure out which of Allison's friends is her tuneful Romeo.
Roll up to the mystery tour. Roll
We're
up
going
to the
all the way to
mystery
the edge of
tour.
the map. We're going to the London Toy and Model Museum.
Oh, careful, don't clip out because then you fall through the world and you die.
I don't think this game does that. I don't think DOS did that back then.
Nope. Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I think we're safe. So,
Yeah.
we're on the edge of the map, but the game doesn't let us go past the map. In fact, we can't even go to the outskirts of London. We can't go past the edge of the map. We have to go through the train station, which is in the middle of the map.
We cannot go to an extremely high percentage of actual London places in this game.
Yeah. I don't think we saw London Toy and Model Museum at all in the first casebook, but if my memory is correct, which it may or may not be, I think it comes up a bunch in the second casebook.
Okay.
So this isn't our last time here, I don't think.
In the left hand picture, it almost looked like the driver was driving in a warehouse or something. It looked like there were shelves.
So that's who sets up all these amazing models. What a cool job.
Allison Simone again. Right. I don't remember what she sounds like.
She might be new. I don't think we've seen her before. Or if we saw her before, she was a bit part in like one thing.
Isn't she the one? Okay, wait. I know that name. Wasn't she? She had something to do with the music thing, wasn't it?
Wasn't that Astrid?
Oh, I just realized Luna said Mom's with us. Hi, Mom. Hi. Hi from America. How you doing up there in Canada? I like the bacon you have there. It's very good. I'm rambling.
It's the sweetest thing, really. No one's ever written me a love song before. I'd like to take whoever wrote it to the Bang Your Head concert tomorrow night, but I've no clue who could have sent it.
You must have some ideas. Do you know any guys who have a crush on you?
Okay, I'm not going to do it right this second, but you have to let me share a little trivia tidbit at the end of this section with the Bang Your Head thing.
Well, Jules is rather attentive. He works over at Chumley's toy store and is in Stiff Upper Lip, one of my favourite bands. I know he's been trying to impress me lately, bringing me the latest high-tech robo toys and such. It could be him. I like him, except he really should shower more.
He sounds like a good bet. A musician.
Yes, but there's also Alec. He plays with Tone Deaf, another fab band. They practice down at the old Vic. He always trips over himself when I show up at their rehearsals. Yeah. I manipulate him and I find it amusing. And then there's Jean-Luc. He's with Rabbit Hedgehog. I figured he'd be with Earl Grey. He's asked me out before, but I've always been busy. I think he's busking today at Trafalgar Square. I'll go by and throw him a coin. Oh, and dear Robin, how could I forget? Robin plays the wildest guitar in London when he's not leading tours on the Cutty Sock. I shouldn't be surprised at all to find it was him. Everyone's in love with me, you see. Everyone wants to date me.
You sure do have a lot of friends, Allison, and all the musicians. This is going to be a little tougher than we thought.
Because yeah, she's a groupie. You see, that's what she is.
I can't read music, so I don't really know how the song goes, but the words are, well, they rhyme. The color of Allison's eyes. Allison's eyes are as blue as the skies. They flash like the stars above me. Allison's hair is as black as a bear. Oh, if only sweet Al would love me.
Her hair is black as a bear. Okay.
I'm trying to puzzle these chords in my head. They probably mean nothing, though. All of my wishes lie in Allison's kisses. Until she is mine, my heart sighs. Sunshine or rain, my mood will remain the same color as Allison's eyes.
the metal version. All my wishes are innocent kisses. I teach you is mine, my heart's eyes.
Just between you and me, blah. The song is written on paper marked with 5-line bars divided into sections. On the left hand of each bar is a symbol like a and sign. The
Oh
bar
man, you know, if I'd known this was coming up, I could have had my little keyboard set up.
the bars are blank, but on top of the bars are the notations C, G, E7, D. I do hope you
I do.
two can suss out who my secret admirer is. It's driving
I
me
do hope
batty.
you could figure out. I
Oh
do
wait,
hope you
this
can
is you.
figure
I'm
out.
sorry. I'm sorry.
That
See, I'm
you're not
losing it too
Allison.
tonight. All right, you're up. Sorry,
Oh, hang
sorry.
on. I gotta get rid of a very nice viewer has left me an ad for something, so I'm just gonna get rid
Sorry about that. I started reading your part again. It's been weeks since I did that, and I
of
did
that.
it
That's all right.
twice tonight.
No worries. I appreciate the kind offer to the marketer in the channel, but yeah, thank you. No, thank you. I do hope you two can suss out who my secret admirer is. It's driving me batty, and I can't very well go up to each of them and ask. Can you imagine? I mean, it's 2025. I mean, you could date all of them if you wanted, but the story. I got to share this. It's very quick. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with the band Ghost. They're on tour right now. They like just started their tour. So they have a no camera policy at their event now, where you put your camera in like a locking bag and all this stuff. So what they're doing instead is they have like a video crew with like an actual like TV presenter walking around, doing like little interviews and segments and stuff with people and all that. And I guess they're going to post them on their website or whatever. But what's crazy about it is the person that they got to do it. I can't remember her last name, but her first name is Vanessa, and she hosted Headbangers Ball on MTV like 35, 40 years ago, something like that. She still looks the same, which is crazy, but they like the guys from Ghost like sought out this person and brought her back just for this. And I was like, okay, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. So anyway, the bang your head thing made me think of that.
All right, we're gonna start at the toy store. Do you think there's a
Come
Do you think there's a connection? She works at the toy museum and he works at the toy store.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It could be coincidence.
Excuse me. Sorry. Just burped right into the mic.
Jules has a cool job too. He gets to play with toys all day.
Hello, you two. Out and about again, are we? Come and have a look at our newest super seller, the Tunamator, hot off the workbench at Oxford's Robotics Lab. It will try and kill you if your name happens to be John Connor. Sorry.
Weird. What does it do?
It tries to kill you if your name's John Connor, you see. Only the most brilliant voice synthesizing ever. You type your words here, and the Tunamator sings them back to you. It makes me think of tuna.
That seems a little far-fetched for 93. Obviously, that kind of tech is all over the place now. I mean, we have robots that write and perform whole songs, but back in 93, this was a little bit unheard of.
Oh, I don't know. They did have some stuff like that.
But it wasn't commercialized like this though.
Yeah, and it wasn't very good, but it had.
It wasn't good, and it wasn't good enough to be commercialized. So this is definitely a fantasy he's pulling right now.
I would want to look that up. I'm interested to know that now, but I don't know right off the bat. Quick little piece of side trivia. You remember the pull string and they talk toys? Do you know what they used at first when they first invented them? The tiny records. Seriously.
All right.
All right. You can choose the melody from one of 1,000 tunes on this CD. You just enter the tune's code and then make up your own words. Or you can have it select a random melody. It'll belt your song out to whatever tune it selects. It's magical.
Can you write your own tune for it to play?
Afraid not. It's not clever enough to read sheet music yet. Maybe next year's model will. That lot at the robotics lab are absolute wizards.
You can read sheet music though, can't you, Jules?
Rather. I'd be a rotten keyboardist if I couldn't. I learned to read sheet music at 6 years old when my mum forced piano lessons on me. Also broccoli. I'm still taking lessons to perfect my style, you know. Over at the university. They have a fab music school. Drop by if you're interested. They won't let you in. I love playing wild punk and good old rock and roll, but secretly my favorite is classical, Beethoven and Mozart. Don't let on to the rest of the stiff upper lip gang, will you? They never let me down. They beat me to a pulp after every show.
And look, he's even got the hair for all of those music styles.
Yeah, he does. He does. He got married and
The,
became a
the
stalker.
Tunamator is a 2 foot tall robot shaped like an aging, overweight rock star with a computer keyboard in its bulging tummy and a slot for a CD in the back of its head.
An aging, overweight rock star. I wonder who that would be.
A display window shows you what words were recently typed into the Tunamator. Jules is the cleverest shop clerk in the world. Doo doo dee doo. I'd be in love with Jules if I were a girl. Doo 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 wah.
That's all I want to say to you. Okay. WAP. Did it say WAP? That said WAP. And it was even spelled WAP. You saw that. Everybody saw that. It was, yeah. They predicted the future. Oh, just messing about, you know. Got to have it singing something for the demonstration. I'm so lonely.
Well, he can read sheet music, so that doesn't entirely rule him out. His robot
Yeah.
can't, though, and that's the main thing
But
he has going for him.
yeah, but the thing was, I would have expected to hear something about Allison because apparently he was embarrassed to be playing that, like he played it on accident or
Yeah.
something in
All
that
right,
scene.
let's
So it seemed well. Just saying that seems the kind of
all right. Let's
thing
go to the
that he
University of
would.
London, and then we'll go meet the other boys. I don't
All
think
right,
it's I
sounds good.
don't think it's him at this point.
I don't think it's him either. Yeah, because
But we're
if it would have
not. We
been him,
can't 100% rule him out yet.
yeah. If it had been him, I think it would have had some kind of clip about Allison, oh Allison, or whatever.
Okay, we're doing that freeze thing. It does. I have to restart
Yeah,
the
I was
player.
gonna say it looks like it choked. Yeah.
Sorry, we have a choke, which means I'm going to do a very quick click through, blab for about 2 minutes while I click through everything we've done so far.
Blah blah. What makes you think I can blab for 2 minutes?
You usually have no
Uh,
problem blabbing for 2 minutes.
yeah, I was gonna say I've blabbed for 8 hours before. I don't know how I did that, but I did. Oh, that's an unfortunate name.
What is?
Oh man. Oh boy. Stormfront. I guess you're not familiar with the um, modern usage of that or whatever. It's a group of people that are very like each other and don't like other people that aren't like them. And Stormfront was the name of their website.
Alright, I just gotta click
That,
through
that
all this stuff real quick.
yeah, that's all I want to say. That's Stormfront is a word you don't want to use these days for varying reasons. Oh man,
So, basically
they
what...
predicted the future again. They had WAP a minute ago. Now they got Stormfront. What's next? Look for two towers in the background. It's gonna be there. I'm telling you, it's coming up. I'll provide audio for this session.
Hey, is that doll waving?
Oh my god, it is. Oh, I'm gonna
The
have
toys
nightmares
do
now.
come to life, and they don't
How
always
did you
wait
know?
for night.
I didn't even notice that. Oh wow, that's creepy.
The toys do
Ah,
come
I
to
did it again.
the toys do come to life, and
Make it stop.
they don't always wait for shop to close up before they do.
I played a Teddy Ruxpin tape one time, like just played it in a tape recorder, and I heard how it did its beeps and pulses to make the Teddy
We
Ruxpin
haven't done
toy move.
hold on. We haven't done
Yeah,
Trafalgar yet, so
yeah.
I gotta
I
come back
wanted.
here first.
Okay, yeah, got to work through the rest of it. I wanted so badly to take that. Of course, the technology was not what it is today with super easy digital editing, but I wanted to take that tape and like make a copy of it and splice it and move stuff around and make my own Teddy Ruxpin tape to leave in the demo unit at Walmart.
Hi, kids. Satan loves you. Would you like to convert your immortal soul?
Or
Okay.
something,
I
whatever.
I remember one time at back when we used to do the Brony meetups.
Mm.
We were doing one of those mall hangouts one day that we used to do, and we descended on the Apple Store, and we went to all the display iPads and switched them
Uh,
over to YouTube My Little Pony music video loops. We did like the
I do.
what?
I was just gonna say I remember that meetup. That was at the the weird mall that's like built into a hill, basically. It's like 5 stories tall, but it's really skinny. Um,
No, I think you're think. I don't think you were at the meetup I'm referring to.
I'm
You
I'm
you
thinking of the Towson Mall.
you might have you might be thinking of one of the Bospa meetups. I know you weren't at the meetup where we did this. It was
Well,
a
where was
thing.
that at?
It was like a DC thing. It was like we had to go on Metro to get there. I think.
I went to a couple of DC meetups. I went to two
Okay,
or three
but
of them.
the one I'm
If
the
go
one
ahead,
I'm
good.
the meetup I'm specifically remembering and referring to, I can say for sure you weren't at that one.
Okay, all right. I'll take your word for
I'm not going to deny that you did something similar at a meetup you went to at some point. I just would have no way of
it.
knowing that.
What a time that was.
Anyway, so now we're going to the University of London before we meet the other three boys. We've caught up to where we were
Before
before the freeze. Jules said
before
that
we
the
meet our doom.
Jules said that the university has a really good music program. Maybe one of the students here will be able to help us out. Have you noticed that every time we come to the university, we don't see a classroom or a library or anything? We just always see this exact same what looks like a residential hall common room. They're
Yeah,
always whatever we need to come to learn at the university. We're always learning from a student in this residential dorm style common room. We never
yeah.
see the
See that?
classrooms. We never see the professors.
That's because this is the frat house and they'll let anybody in. You just got to bring a sixer with you. It's there. I've been studying music all my life. The cello mostly, but I've played around with a few other instruments along the way. The thing I love about it is even with only a little practice and the ability to read music, you can play so many things. It's like it's just made out of those 12 notes and that's all.
You read music then, Marcus?
Oh yes. I started on the piano, so I learned my scales and notes there. Piano music is written out using the bass and treble clefs, with one hand playing the bass and the other playing the treble. It takes a while to learn where all the notes are on the staff, but once you do, you can apply that to many, many instruments. In fact, actually all of them, technically.
So all instruments use the same musical notes?
Not always, but most do. A saxophone player can use the same melody line as a pianist, but a pianist
That's all, folks.
a pianist would be able to play groups of notes together called chords as well. Ugh. Stringed instruments like the guitar violin also use chords, but they're written out differently. Each of the chords has a name. C and D are simple ones, but some are more complex, like G minor seventh. The guitar player knows what chord to strum by the chord's name over the staff.
So we know that whoever wrote the song is a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, sounds like there's a lot to learn when you start studying music. You know, all this talk of music has me thinking about taking guitar lessons when we get home to Richview. Marcus's cello is made of highly polished wood and strung with 4 strings. When he plays it, the cello makes a very mellow sound.
They call it mellocello.
I don't think he's relevant because he wasn't mentioned as one of the 4 boys.
Yeah, no.
We're going to Trafalgar Square next.
Trafalgar.
We went to Trafalgar on our vacation from Belgium when I was but a young boy.
Wow, that's some amazing sax. But how can John Luke stand playing with all these pigeons around? I don't
Oh,
think
this is
it's
John
this
Luke.
guy. He's not a guitarist.
Yep, I think you're right. Okay, I'm going to attempt this. This may not work.
Hello. If you admire la musique, then a shilling or two would be in order, no?
A shilling is a 5 pence piece, like the English version of a nickel. Sorry, Jean Luc, we have to save all our cash for the bus.
You know my name, but I'm sure we've never met.
Oh, we're friends of Alison Simone. She said you play a great saxophone, so we came over to listen.
Oh no, she probably just said I blow. You see, it's a different thing there. Alison, ma chérie. She is so adorable, no? She's a petite flower, no? Oh, my Alison, if only I could win her heart. I would climb the highest mountain. I would swim across the English Channel. I would swear off frogs' legs for all eternity. I would not crash the Enterprise. If only.
Oh, brother.
When you see her again, tell her I said. Tell her I said. Tell her I said. Hello.
Yeah, Jean Luc, sure thing. Geez, for a French guy, Jean Luc isn't very smooth.
For a Jean Luc, he's not very smooth. Oh, hey, Dad. Hi, Dad. What's up?
Jean Luc's
I hope
music
you're doing
stand
well.
holds his saxophone music. The saxophone music is written on the same kind of 5-line paper that Allison's love song was written on, only the lines are filled with musical notes.
Yeah, it's different.
And it didn't list any
Different.
chords on top either.
However, we have noticed that, he's also in love with Allison, apparently. So
He loves her, but his sheet music doesn't use the chord markings.
he loves her, but his music sucks, so he has no chance.
So we're gonna go to the Old Vic next. Let's meet
But
boy
I'm
number
John Luke.
3. We're going to meet boy number 3 now.
She gonna end up with Kirk. That's what it is. She doesn't
Hey,
know
these
John.
guys are pretty good. I wonder which one of them writes their songs.
I write the songs that make the whole world sing. Oh God, that is the line. I'm getting delirious. Okay.
She was in that mystery all the way back from the beginning, with the stolen song notebook.
Yeah. That's where I knew I recognized her from somewhere. I write all the songs for our band. None of this lot have the style. They'd botch the job if I let 'em at it. I write out the tune and the words on staff paper, then give the rest of the band copies. They improvise their own parts.
Well, you're getting ahead of me here. What's staff paper? And what do you mean by improvise?
It means we don't have to listen to the man's rules. We can stick it to him with our music. Honestly, Jennifer, have you no culture? Staff paper's what you write music on. It's got musical bars for you to write the notes on and all. You write the words underneath the note that should be sung. And then you sing it. When I say the rest are tone deaf, improvises the Let me try that once again. When I say the rest are tone deaf improvisers, I mean they do their own thing, right? They listen to my tune, then make up a tune on their own instrument to match. We're independent thinkers. Michael plays on the keyboard, so it looks a bit like my tune when he writes it out, but with a lot more notes. Because he's really fancy, you see. I've no clue how Alec and Giles? I'm gonna say Giles. I don't know. I've no clue how Alec and Giles remember their bits. They never seem to write anything down. But once we all learn our parts and get it together, magic. The hottest sound in South London. And it's young and handsome Alec. Hey dudes, great to hear another American voice. Come to hear us jam.
Yeah, our pal Alison Simone is a great fan of you guys, so she suggested we come and listen in on your rehearsal.
Allison, oh man, what a babe. She's the coolest. Did she mention me at all? I'm Alec. I'm the bass guitarist. I'm the normal one, usually.
She did mention an Alec.
Oh wow. Oh, that's so awesome! Allison mentioned my name to you. What else did she say?
Well, she didn't mention that you're an American. Do you live here now?
Yeah, I'm taking some classes at the university. That's how I met Al. She's like so smart. Beauty and brains too, you know. And a third word that starts with B. Ha, you know what I'm saying? I think you do. Ha ha. She's helped me out in my lit class. Oi, mate, what's up? Do you like groupies or what? Michael.
Because they're groupies,
Giles? That is so gonna mess me up. Because they're groupies, Giles. Look at the glazed look in their eyes. They're aching for an autograph.
Well, not really. We were kind of hoping to pick up some musical tips from you guys.
Oi, tips is it? And does he start everything with oi? Oh, I guess he's like, oh. Tips is it? The lowdown on the band scene, eh? Sure thing. What do you want to know?
We'd really like to know how you guys know what music to play.
We feel it, man. Like we let the groove move through us and we go with it. It's so cosmic. Yeah, man. I hear Regina wailing and wham, bam. I gotta beat the drums. Once I've got the... sorry. I thought that was you. You're reading my lines. I'm reading your lines. I'm thinking your lines are my lines. Whatever. Once I've got the tune I jot it all down so I don't forget it. Tell you the truth, I never took lessons. I learned to play the drums out in my dad's garage. I don't write the music down. I just try and keep it in me head. Under me mohawk.
Regina's latest song is on Michael's keyboard stand. The title is I Break My Own Nose for Your Love.
But would you put it in a blender?
The song is written on the same kind of 5-line paper as Allison's love song, but the lines are filled in with musical notes. Alright, we have to meet the last boy now. We're going to the Cutty Sark, which is that big ship on the edge of London.
Yep. It's like the London version of the Constellation, or the... Not Constellation. What's the boat in the harbor?
The Constellation?
Is it the Constellation?
Yeah.
There's another C word that I thought it was. I don't know. Oh.
Isn't the Cutty Sark beautiful? It's over 100 years old.
Constitution is the word I was thinking of. But it's Constellation.
It's Robin. It's Robin Leach from Lifestyles of the Poor and Homeless. Ahoy there, landlubbers, looking for someone.
Yes, Robin Coleridge. We've heard he's the greatest guitarist in London, and we'd like his autograph.
I'm Robin Coleridge, but I'm afraid I'm probably not the greatest guitarist around. Where'd you get that idea?
Our friend Alison Simone said you were the best.
Alison did. Alison, that's fantastic. That's amazing. She's splendid. I speak very loudly. The kind of girl a bloke could go mad for. I've known Alison since we grew up together in Surrey, and we had to yell across the street at each other. She's a knockout, a real looker, you know. Really knows her music too. She says I was the greatest best guitarist in London. Brilliant. Let's just move on. I give up.
The banner above the Cutty Sark entrance reads, in honor of Her Majesty's royal birthday, admissions half price.
Half price sale.
Hey Robin, you'd better have another look at your banner. Somebody spelled honor wrong.
No, it's spelled correctly. Honour. Oh. No, there's no O at the end. I get it. You're Yanks, aren't you? Americans.
Yeah, that's right, but we still know how to spell. I came in second in last year's school spelling bee.
Well, you wouldn't have in the UK. Here we spell honour with a U and a lot of other words as well. Favor, Cullow, and Armour, for example.
Flavor, savor,
There's a lot of them, yeah. Center was always one of my favorites.
Our languages are both called English, but your American English and our British English have been spoken on separate continents since the American colonies were founded. That was over 200 years ago. Languages change over time, and our two versions of English have become a bit different.
Mine has only become louder. That's part of why you lot have such a strange accent. Not only are some of our words different, like saying elevator instead of lift, but you sound very different as well. You're much quieter.
We've got an accent. What about you?
Well, after all, it was our language first.
Okay,
We can do with it what we want.
I have to go
I'm
back.
Robin Leach. We'll see you next time.
I have to go back to Allison and read that poem again because he just gave us some insight. I need to see the words in that poem again.
Right.
As black as that poem was, we need to get it back in our mind. We need to be
Right.
thinking about the words.
But I just got it out.
Allison's eyes are as blue as the skies. They flash like the stars above me. Allison's hair is as black as a bear. Oh, if only sweet Al would love me. So nothing striking me on this page. All
Yeah.
of my
Well, it's
wishes
talking
lie
about
in
the sky
Allison.
and
What?
I was just saying it's talking about the sky and the,
Yeah.
maybe
All of my
outdoors.
wishes lie in Allison's kisses. Until she is mine, my heart sighs. Sunshine or rain, my mood will remain the same color as
Oh,
Allison's eyes.
oh, oh. The same what as Allison's eyes? The same what? The
Color.
same,
That's the
the same,
American spelling. I think
the
we're
same
looking at
color.
Alec. We're looking at Alec from the band that was practicing at the theater.
Yeah. I forgot about the you, but I'll
Because
never forget
because remember,
about
he was the
you. Awesome.
guitarist. He was the guitarist. So
Yep. Yep.
we didn't get to see his sheet music. We saw the pianist sheet music, and the drummer didn't have sheet
Yep.
music. But we never saw his sheet music, so we didn't see his chord notations. But we remember from the other guy at the university who said that the guitarists use the chord notations. So it would either have to be Alec or that guy at the Cutty Sark, and that guy at the Cutty Sark is as British as they get. But here,
We
color is spelled with the American spelling, where Alec is our guy, Jean Luc is saxophone, and would not have these chord notations. And the other guy,
We have a triangle of information.
yeah, and the other guy, the guy at the toy shop, he has no indication of being in a band. He said he can read sheet music, but he also said he was a pianist.
yeah. Yeah.
So Alex, our guy, that's
Yep.
definitely the American spelling right there.
Alex the guy, final answer.
Yeah.
I do hope you two can suss out. Oh, well, okay, that's fine. The color. Oh, yeah, okay. The
All right,
color of
we
Allison's
want
eyes,
we
right
want
there.
the one detailing that
Yeah,
there's chord notations.
yeah. There's chord notations and the color is there. With spelling of colors there. Read piano sheet music. The same kind of. The lines are filled with music.
All right, that's not
Nope.
relevant.
Yeah, no, none of that. Yeah. Alec is no. It doesn't matter.
Alec is
Alec
American.
is an American. It does matter. Yeah, the spelling. Yeah, the last one. Yep. Spoken. The accents, dark words. Yeah, that one. I think that may be all we need. Maybe.
He's the bass guitarist, so he is a guitar player. We want Alec.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you in
Alec.
agreement?
I vote. I strongly vote for Alec. The great state of Georgia casts all of its electoral votes for Alec.
You got it. Alec is Allison's mysterious and musical admirer. The love song that Allison got in the mail was written on musical staff paper, but there were no notes on the staff. The letters above the staff were the key.
Alex not gonna write you a love
Marcus
song.
told us that the letters we saw on the staff paper were notations for guitar chords. Allison's mushy musician must have played the guitar. That left Robin and Alec, but it was Robin that gave us our final clue. Robin told us that the banner over the Cutty Sark that said "In Her Majesty's Honor" was spelled correctly. English people spell a lot of words that we spell OR with OUR instead. Allison's song was entitled "The Color of Allison's Eyes," not "The Color of Allison's Eyes," so we knew it wasn't written by an English person. Alec is a guitar player and he's American. He would spell color just like we would without the U.
He would use a crayon. Doesn't seem to
We
break.
we we had a pretty major aha moment right at the end of that one.
Yeah, yeah, that
Are
was
we
a
feeling the motivation to do one more?
uh maybe. Yeah, why not? Let me read this. Who is this saying? Oh, it's okay.
Dear Uncle, just a note to say ta to you and Jennifer for the brilliant detective work. Very clever how you sussed out that Alec must be the composer of The Color of Alison's Eyes. He was the only American guitar player I knew. We had a fab time at the Bang Your Head concert, but the concert I'm really looking forward to is the next Tone Deaf show. Alec promised to sing the song he wrote for me on stage for the entire band. He's going to be so embarrassed when I dump him. We've sent you, Nigel, Jennifer, and Jake tickets, so see you there. Alison Simone.
Thus endeth the tale.
Yeah. All right. Are we feeling one more? I'm up if
I
you're
think
up.
so. I think so. I think that last one kind of woke me up a little bit. Because seriously, man, that first one, I was sitting here like my mouth is open and I'm just kind of
Okay.
leaning off listlessly to one side.
And plus three.
Ha- oh, oh, hold on a sec. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, this is the sixth one of this book. So yeah, I think this is. We'll stop after this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be the fourth one of the night. I do feel
Yeah. Yeah.
three is a little weak showing for a single
Yeah.
night. I mean, we've done streams before where we've only done four, but it feels balanced to do two before break, two after break.
Yeah.
I'm just not feeling a very long 4 hour marathon session with five mysteries like we've done in the past.
I will not survive longer. So yeah.
So we're going to finish tonight with the case of the chess piece challenge. Let me know when you're ready.
Bangkok.
I'm ready.
Bangkok, Oriental City. The city don't know what the city has kept. The creme de la creme of the chess world in a show with everything but Yul Brynner.
Did he just throw something?
No,
Or was-
he knocked on the edge
That
of
was
the
your-
door frame.
It looked like your mouse looked like he was throwing something into the room.
Grenade! Of all the rotten luck,
What's wrong, Nigel?
some blasted thief stolen our chess club's good luck charm.
Oh, come on, Nigel. You're not superstitious, are you? What was it? A rabbit's foot? A four-leaf clover?
It was a 4 foot wide motor vehicle tire that we found on the road one day. What? No, this is more of a symbol than a charm, and it's quite valuable. It's a solid gold pawn given over to the club by the school's founding father, Lord Scrumneypeg.
Rumney-peg.
The chess club members have carried it to every tournament for over 50 years. We've got to have it back, because otherwise we'll never know how to spell Scrumneypug.
Boom, 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 boom.
Mrs. Cowslip, the headmistress of Nigel's school, is also the chess club mentor. The headmistress or headmaster of a school is like our American principal. She'll be able to fill us in on what happened.
What does a cowslip sound like?
We've had her before, but she only appeared once or twice.
No. Never mind.
We've just wrapped up our district chess. We've just wrapped up our district chess tourney, and I'm proud to say that Hampstead School has triumphed again, like every year. I suspected it was the Highgate team that made off with our good luck charm. They're not bad sports, but they do love a prank, those little sots.
Who's on the Highgate team, Mrs. Cowslip? Maybe if we find them, we can get the pawn back.
What I was saying earlier, I wasn't asking what she sounded like. I said, "What does a cowslip sound like?" And then I said, "Moo thump."
Simon Thomas, Ian Knight, Peter Cliff, and Abigail Ipuru make up the Highgate team. I should be surprised if they weren't having quite a snicker over this, or perhaps a Twix. You know, this might have something to do with that strange telephone call. Natalie was tidying up this morning and someone called with a mysterious message. They said they were trying to get in touch with us about our car's extended warranty, and I don't even own a car. I don't recall exactly what she said, but you might catch up with her at the Tower of London. She dashed off there shortly after the call.
Has he been?
Yeah,
Have we seen him?
we
We've
saw
seen him
him
before.
one time in the other chess mystery.
I don't know what he sounded like.
He's like the kid who only shows up for chess stuff.
Hmm.
This little stunt has Highgate written all over it. Clever bunch, that chess team. Very nearly beat us in the last match of the tourney. We always keep the pawn in its special case here at the Phaeton Club when we're not at tournament. This morning I found it missing and a list of chess moves in its place.
Sorry, Philip, you've lost me. I'm not very familiar with chess. How can you have a list of chess moves?
Chess players use notation to record the moves of a game. A notation explains how a particular piece moved on the chessboard. God, you don't know anything. The list of moves that I figured in the pawn's apparently I don't know how to read. The list of moves that I found in the pawn's case describes a chess game, but not one we've ever played before. I think the Highgate team want us to set up a chessboard using the list of moves they've left us. It'll take me a bit of time to arrange the chessboard by playing out this game, but I'm sure it will lead us to where they've taken the pawn.
I bet it's McCavity.
In the meantime, you might want to study up. Huh?
What?
What?
I said I bet it's McCavity.
McCavity has nothing to do with this mystery.
He doesn't. See, a solid gold pawn seems like the kind of thing he'd do, and set up a chess.
No,
game.
because remember McCavity's mysteries all deal with animals.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
In the meantime, you might want to study up. I'm sure that we need to solve a chess puzzle in order to get our pawn back.
I think let's start Tower of London, because then we can learn about that. Well, it's the only place we can go right now.
Yeah.
So now we're going to learn about that mysterious phone call.
For the 15th time this playthrough, the Tower of London was originally built by William the Conqueror in 1066. It served as the site of the Royal Menagerie, Royal Observatory, and Mint, as well as being a residence for every English monarch from William I to Henry VIII. It's been repeated many, many times in this game. The tower has housed many accused traitors as they awaited execution, including Sir Walter Raleigh and Anne Boleyn. I'm going to record this particular narration and keep it on my phone for future reference.
There's Natalie. I wonder what made her rush down here.
I don't know what she sounded like either.
Jennifer and Uncle, just the pair we need. That pack of nits at Highgate has nicked old Scummy Peg's golden pawn. We need your help if we're going to get it back.
So we heard. Any clues so far?
Well, I got a call this morning. I'm almost sure it was Ian Knight, the captain of the Highgate team. He's so beautiful and his name's Knight. How perfect is that? He said your pawn's been taken, but by whom? Simon the Rook and started the trail at the castle. Then he laughed and rang off. I know that Simon Thomas, one of their teammates, volunteers here at the tower as a St. Crispin's cadet. At the tower is a castle after all, so I headed there. Simon's not much help though. See if you can get any sense out of him. I specked him in the head all day and it didn't help. So the Hampsteads need a bit of American aid, do they? Fair enough. I'll tell you what I told Natalie. The court is laid out through London. The Queen's at her palace, the Bishop's at his abbey, and the Knight's gone back to discover our origins. The pawns are in a shop. I'm the Rook here at my castle. You may ask one of us to return the golden pawn, but ask wisely. Only the one who took it will return it. Ask the wrong one, and the pawn stays with Highgate until next year's tournament.
The Queen's at her palace. I can guess where that is. Buckingham Palace. The Bishop's at his abbey must be Westminster Abbey. But where could the Knight be?
That's for you to suss out. As she just told you a minute ago. Aren't you an Uncle America? Uncle America? I thought he was calling you Uncle America, but it's Uncle, America.
Actually, Uncle America is a great name for a superhero.
Uncle America. Shopkeeper America. That's for you to suss out. Aren't you an Uncle America's ancestor to Sherlock Holmes? One more clue, Yanks. Each of us will tell you a tidbit about another member of our team to help you along. I'm to tell you about my mate, the Knight. He's a tricky one, the only one of us who can jump over other pieces. He moves two squares one way, up, down, or sideways, then one square to either side. Banging my
So we
head
know
to
where the
some low
bishop and the
tide.
queen are, and we know where the rook is. We still have to figure out where the knight is to get his clue. Westminster Abbey is one of the most famous churches in England. Every king and queen of England has been crowned here since 1066. That was... Hold on,
The
I'm
Battle of
mathing
Hastings.
right now. That was...
I've read it 10 times.
1,000 minus 41. So that'd be 959 years ago every monarch's been crowned here. For 959 years.
Yep. Yep.
This is where we'd find a bishop. Let's have a look.
Oh, I can use my bishop joke. Great.
I don't think we've seen him before.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Trying to think of a voice for him.
Something churchly, I guess. He is
Yeah.
the bishop here.
Yep. All right, how's this? You must be looking for the bishop. I'm told we have a new bishop today. That young man over there. At least, so he asked me to tell you.
Thanks, Father. We're trying to figure out a chess puzzle, and that bishop is a key piece.
Ah, chess. A fascinating and ancient game. People believe it has its roots with the ancient Persians, as long ago as the 8th century AD. I've heard it said that the word chess may come from the Persian word for king, Shah. You know that when a player corners his opponent's king, he cries checkmate. Well, that word may come from another Persian phrase, stamad, which means the king is dead. I didn't know that either. Of course, if you're looking for the origin of all board games, you must look to the Egyptians. They played board games with dice as far back as 4000 BC, nearly 6,000 years ago. They played a game called Senet. And
A couple of years ago, I actually watched a YouTube video where two guys were playing a recreation of that ancient game. If you want me to find it again, so you could, it was really kind of fascinating to watch.
Maybe the Senate that I have is one that was that came with the box set of the series Lost, because they played that on the show.
Actually, I never sent you the other video I said I was going to send you.
No, you didn't. I forgot about that.
Which is the video about turning the android into a droid beacon, but obviously
right.
That's not happening tonight. Text me tomorrow and remind me, and I'll pull that video.
All right.
But I don't think the actual codes. I don't think I actually mentioned the codes in the video. It might be in a freeze frame though. Like it'll play along, and maybe there's a part where you'll have to like pause it or something. I don't know if I actually give the codes. If not, then I'll have to dig up the other link that I got that information from to make that video. So
speaking of droids, do you have Twitch on your phone by chance right now?
I do, but I'm not gonna pull it up right now. Why?
Because I have an R2D2 on my shoulder. Because why not?
Yeah, but my phone was distracting, so I just turned the screen off.
All right.
All right,
it's not a Disney R2, it's the Walmart one that came out.
Egyptians. That must be the origins that the knight is looking up. Thanks, Father Jones. We've seen Egyptian artifacts at the British Museum, right? Let's get the map of London and see how we get there from here.
You have to walk like an Egyptian.
All right, so I need to go to my map now. Yeah. And there I was thinking we were going to get through today map free because it hadn't come up, but... Well, fair enough. You had to use the handbook earlier, so I have to use the map. So let's see. Westminster Abbey is here, and British Museum is due north. Look at that. Westminster Abbey, well, you can't see this screen right now. We're going straight directly north.
Westminster Abbey, the Tower Big Ben, the rosy red cheeks of
That's right. The British Museum is directly north of here. Let's check there for Highgate's Knight.
Peter.
Oh, yes, I'm the bishop. If you think I have your golden pawn, you're welcome to ask for it. But if I didn't take it, you've lost it for the year.
We'll ask when we've got all the clues, Peter. Uncle and I aren't hasty. Can you tell us anything about the rest of your team?
I can tell you about my mate, the rook. The rook moves in straight lines only. He can move up, down, or sideways, but not diagonally. That'd just be weird.
Kings and queens aren't the only famous people buried here at Westminster. The guidebook says that this area is called the Poets' Corner. Geoffrey Chaucer is buried here, and there are memorials to lots of other great writers. T.S. Eliot of Cats fame, Dylan Thomas, and Shakespeare of pretty much everything fame. There sure is a lot. There sure is a lot of look.
That's where they buried the plumbers.
There sure is a lot to look at here. I hope we get to come back when we're not on a case. What was the point of telling us about Poets' Corner? That seems awfully irrelevant. unless, let's go to Buckingham Palace and meet our queen.
Buckingham Palace is the London residence of the Queen and royal family. When the Queen is present at the palace, the royal standard is flown over the building. In order to help pay for the fire damage of Windsor Castle, Buckingham Palace has been open for public tours for the first time in Britain's history. Welcome to BBC World Service. The time is now 0:39.
Look, the Union Jack, the British flag, is flying over the palace. That means that the Queen is at home.
Hello, you must be Uncle and Jennifer. I guess the Hampstead lot had to call in the cavalry.
Actually, why doesn't she recognize us? We've seen her before at one of the other... Yeah. Sort of, but who are you?
Normally, I'm Abigail Ipuru, but today I'm the Queen. Come to ask me for your pawn, have you?
Not till we have all the facts. What can you tell me about the rest of the Highgate gang?
I can tell you about his honor, the bishop. He's a crafty one. Never comes at an enemy head on.
Nor does any bishop.
He whizzes across the board diagonally. That just sounds unsanitary. Never up or down.
Excuse me, have you seen anything strange today here at the palace? Hello?
Why are you talking to the microphone?
Oh, I forgot. The guards here at the palace aren't allowed to speak or even move from their posts when they're on guard. They're not allowed to concentrate on anything except guarding their posts. We won't learn anything from him, I'm afraid.
If I ever make it to England, I'm going to have like a special hat that's just like theirs, but like 4 feet high, and just walk up and stand next to him and do nothing else.
Nope, no sign of the real queen today. She must be busy inside. Alright, let's go meet the knight, and then we should be able to solve this thing. Oh, we have to go back to the club eventually, I think, and see the actual puzzle. So we're not quite done after this. Good going. There's our knight now. Ian Knight. It's cool how they got the kid whose actual name is Knight to play the knight in this little mystery.
Yeah, it is a nice touch.
We've seen him before in the other chess one.
Let's see. Aha, passengers from the Hampstead team, no doubt. Have you come to request your pawn? Ask if you like, but if I didn't take it, you'll not get it back this year.
Oh, no, not yet. We'll wait until we have all the clues we need. You're the knight, right?
That's right. Ian Knight most days, but the Black Knight today. None shall pass.
What can you tell us about the rest of the team?
Only what I've been told to say about Her Majesty the Queen. The Queen has free reign on the chessboard. She can move in a straight line in any direction, up, down, sideways, or diagonally, as long as the way is clear.
We know that games were popular with the ancient Egyptians. Hieroglyphics show men and women enjoying board games, and many kings and queens had their favorite games buried with them to enjoy in the next life. One of the oldest known board games is the Egyptian game of Jowl. In Jowl, just like in chess, players move soldiers across a square board to capture other soldiers. Chess itself seems to have originated in India sometime around 500 AD. Over time, traders brought the game to Persia and China. Everywhere it went, people changed the rules and improved the game. When the Arabs conquered Persia, they discovered the game and developed most of the rules we know today. The earliest known grandmasters of chess were all Arab players.
Much like a Mechanical Turk.
When chess reached Europe, it became quite popular. Lords and ladies often paid large sums of money for chess masters to come and play at their court. Chess is popular because it challenges the mind. To win at chess, a player must have imagination and determination, as well as a good understanding of how the pieces move. I think I know who I'm rating after stream if he's on. I know this musician on Twitch. He generally streams late at night. He can simultaneously play a tournament level game of chess and a tournament level game of Scrabble simultaneously at the same time, with different people, of course, because nobody's on his level. We have to go back to the club now to get the actual puzzle.
Really, you just said two things that mean the same thing.
What?
Simultaneously at the same time.
You know the microphone's on.
I know.
It looks like Philip's got that chessboard set up. Let's have a look.
Phillips played out the game indicated by the list of chess moves left by the Highgate team. He's got the chessboard set up in its final position. The whole court is there. Bishops, knights, castles, and the king and queen. Playing out the game by following the notation was rather like playing postal chess through the mail. Hence the word
That
postal.
sounds like it would take painfully long.
It would, yeah.
In games like that where you can't see the other player's board, you must communicate in notation. When you move a piece, you list the abbreviation of that piece. Q for queen, P for pawn, etc. And the notation for the square it's moved to. PQ full would mean that a pawn moved to the fourth space in the queen's column. Using notation, each player can tell exactly where the others moved, even without seeing the board.
One of the pawns on the chessboard has been painted gold. The other pieces are arranged as if they were in the middle of a game. Looks to me like they've set up this game to show which of the pieces will capture or take the gold pawn. That must be our clue.
Okay.
If we can figure out which piece takes the pawn, we'll know which Highgate team member we should ask for it back. Let's see, the gold pawn is on the white side, so we'll need to take a look at the black pieces and see which one could take it. The bishop is diagonally away from the golden pawn, so that's a possibility.
Hold on. But by how many spaces? It's let us sit for a second. The rook is 2 spaces down. I can't really.
All right, the rook is 3 spaces down and 1 space over from the pawn. The rook only moves in straight lines horizontally and vertically.
Yeah, no,
It's
right,
not
right,
the
right.
rook. The bishop
Right,
moves in straight lines diagonally, so it could be the bishop.
Okay, hold on. Don't Dad. Don't click for a second. I can't make out the picture.
The picture doesn't matter. It's describing to us what we are seeing.
Well, I know, but I was trying to solve it before it tells us.
Well, here's the
ahead,
thing.
whatever.
You know the pictures are pretty low res. It doesn't actually show us.
Yeah, the picture's crap. I mean, you can make out from it, but I mean, it's just really hard.
The
to
queen
make
is
out.
3 squares away from the gold pawn diagonally and 1 square over to the side. The queen can move any direction, but only in straight lines. I don't think it's our queen.
Yeah.
The knight is 2 spaces over from the pawn. The knight's the one who does that funky move 2 one way, 1 the other way. Basically,
Okay,
you're going with the knight. You're going diagonally 2 by 3. So it's not the knight.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say which I can't tell which piece is the knight in this picture.
So we want the bishop. Let's take a look at our notes
right.
and see which of the pieces can take the gold pawn. I'm telling you, it's the bishop. We're doing this.
All right.
We got the mystery in check. All right, that's about the knight. Peter
Cliff
Cliff is the
bishop.
bishop.
Yeah, there you go. That's only queen.
The bishop moves
across the board
diagonally.
diagonally. Yep. Yeah. Don't need another one. Yeah. Oh, the way's clear. Hmm. The bishop on the
The
chessboard is
bishop is.
diagonally. Yeah.
All right.
But
Yeah.
oh wait, queen is blocked. Okay. Yeah. I guess we don't need that.
So let's go back and get his name one more time. Peter Cliff. That's the one we want.
Yeah. Yep. Those are the clues we need.
We want the
Peter.
bishop. We're going for the bishop.
It's Peter.
It's Peter Griffin.
You got it.
I won the chess game.
You got it. The bishop took the pawn. So our bishop, Peter Cliff, must have Lord Scrummypeg's golden pawn over at Westminster Abbey. Give
It's
me
in
one.
his bomb.
Actually, we did make it to the 2 hour mark. We're actually at the 2.5 hour mark. So I think we made our quota for today. If you do.
Are we really? Hold on. When did we start? No, we started at. Wow. I guess we started a little after 10. So.
Yeah. Abigail, who played
Well,
Abigail, who played the queen today, told us that the bishop moves diagonally across the chessboard. We found Peter Cliff at Westminster Abbey, where he told us he was the bishop today. Meanwhile, Philip played out the chess game recorded in the notation that the Highgate team left in the pawn's place. The final position reached by using the notation showed that the black bishop was in the perfect position to take the golden pawn. You broke the Highgate team's chess code.
And a radio guy one more time. Eagle Eyes rescue gold pawn. A sporting prank played on Hampstead's first-rate chess club was turned around by a little American aide from Uncle Evie of the Eagle Eye Detective Agency yesterday. The Highgate team was a bit sore that we'd beaten them in the annual chess tournament, explained club president Philip Mind. Philip Mind? That's funny. So they thought it'd be a lark to nick our lucky charm and hold it for ransom of sorts. The lucky charm in question was a solid gold pawn, and the ransom demanded was the solution to the chess puzzle left by the Highgate team. Uncle tracked down all the clues and used what he learned about chess to unscramble Highgate's puzzle, explained Nigel Eagle, a club member. Thanks to him, we've got our lucky charm back, and you can bet that we'll beat Highgate again next year.
All right,
Thus endeth the case.
I think that's a good place to stop for tonight.
I think so too. Yeah, my second wind has gone away.
Yeah. I mean, I
love the thought
theoretically could do one more, but it is getting late. And I
Yeah,
have a lot to work on tomorrow.
I can't. I'm like propping myself up in the chair here. But I will say I do love that floppy
Alright,
disk.
let me
on this
see.
thing. It's pretty cool.
I gotta check out, I'm just checking out to see if I'm rating this guy who actually plays chess. Because he would be somewhat relevant. You might be seeing, you might be seeing the psychedelic infinite screen right now. If you're watching my stream.
The Hall of Mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Hall of Infinite Mirrors.
Um,
Okay. Well,
Of course, it's forcing me to watch an ad first. That sucks. I'm trying to find out if he's
I hope
actually
my good
live
night
or not.
tonight, because man, I am shot to heck. So I'm gone.
Can I call you
I've been
tomorrow
gone for a while.
and we can brainstorm ideas for a Star Wars stream? Can I call you tomorrow?
Yeah. What was that? I missed.
Yeah.
A lot of
Can I call you tomorrow so we can brainstorm ideas for a Star Wars stream? All right, the ad's about to end, and I'll see if he's actually.
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on.
Sure. Yeah. I will be around. I will be. Yeah.
No, he's not on right now. He's just
I will
doing
be
his
awake.
loop.
And yeah, we do need to figure that out because that's coming up imminently.
All right, I'm not rating the chess guy.
All right. So yeah, I'm honestly I'm gonna go ahead and bail because I'm just like I feel like my
Crap.
brain is just not firing correctly. at this
None
moment.
of my normal musicians are on. So tonight I'm just gonna raid out to the ventriloquist musician. She actually sings as her puppets.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So Captain Jen E, I'll set up the raid. Brett, I will talk to you tomorrow. Are you doing your normal Saturday stream?
Peace to Yeah, as far as we know, yeah, the plan is for Alan to be over, and we're gonna go for like 9:30 or 10, probably similar to this, but maybe
All
a
right.
little bit earlier. It
I'm
sort of
gonna.
depends.
I'm
Me and Amy have a dinner tomorrow night. We're going out, so but it
so
won't be late.
I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be trying to do my regular Saturday Lego stream. If there's work tomorrow, I'll probably be doing the Frozen Palace because it's on sale at Target right now. If there's no work tomorrow, then I'll probably do one of the 5 Mario streams that's still in my queue.
Cool, cool. Oh, I was gonna tell you, and I forgot, real super quick. I actually got another Lego set, but it's a really small one. It's the Women of NASA set.
You mentioned it
Uh,
last week. All
did
right.
I? Okay, I can remember mentioning
I'm
it
on the
now.
Hall of Mirrors. I'd better get this raid going. So,
Oh yeah. Oh wow. No kidding. Sure. All right. Well, everyone watching at home, or that watched at home, or has ever watched me at home, thank you for tuning in. I'm shot. So yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm assuming Evie is probably the same. Do you have
yeah.
any other things you want to say to the folks on my stream?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stay up just long enough to get my video processed, and then I'm going to bed.
Cool. Cool. All right. I will stay up just long enough to not do that, and I will just go to bed.
All right.
So we'll talk. We'll talk tomorrow, you and I, and everybody or anybody else out there. Have a wonderful evening, and tune in tomorrow night when Unbalanced is back, and we do some more, probably some more Red Dead.
Yeah.
So from all of us to all of you, I'm gonna go ahead and bail. Y'all have a wonderful night, and we will talk to you very soon. Take care,
And
guys.
Andor starts next week.
What's that?
Star Wars Andor starts next week. The first 3 episodes are going to be out on Tuesday night.
Ah, okay, cool. All right, I'll
They're
definitely keep
doing
an eye on that.
something a little bit differently with the release this year. Instead of releasing 1 episode a week, they're releasing 3 episodes a week over 4 weeks and getting it out faster.
Oh, that's cool.
All
All
right.
right, well that'd be fun then.
All right, we got to go now.
Uh,
We both got to go.
thank you, Luna,
Yeah.
Shinobu, Mom and Dad, and everybody else, and have a wonderful evening. And I'm going to bed.
Good night, all. I'm going to raid
All right.
Captain Jenny, the ventriloquist musician. I'm initiating the
Okay.
raid now. So have a good night, and we will see you soon.
You as well. Take care, bud. We'll talk to you tomorrow. All right.
Oh,
Peace
wait.
out, everybody.
They have
Right.
raids turned off. You go ahead and go. I'm going to try and figure something else
Okay.
out. Because
All right. I'm going.
they have raids turned off, and there's
All
like
right.
nobody
I'm
else
going
here.
now. Then. I'm going now. Then. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a great night. Bye bye.
Good night. Alright, so I'm dealing with the issue right now that the channel I want to raid and the only musician that I actually have in my follow list who's on right now does not allow raids. So now I'm looking to see if there's anyone in recommendeds that I can raid out to. Because I don't like raiding out to, I don't like not raiding out. Okay, what's this? Doesn't look like this musician is doing music. No, and we're clicking off of that. And then there's a shoot. Not a bad choice. This looks like one of those keyboard synth musicians. You know what? I'm gonna. I would have preferred being able to rate someone I actually know. Uh, yeah, no, a drummer musician. I'm not looking to get a headache tonight. Solo drummer is one thing as part of a band, but solo drums is a different story. I'm not looking to wake the neighbors and get a headache. I kind of don't like doing new discovery right at the end of stream.
Thank you so much. Mostly.
Alright, we'll discover a new musician tonight. We are going to discover Jane Gel Music, I guess. Looks like the stream hasn't been going on too long. Hold on, but hold on.
Thank you.
Looks Alright, I'm not sure. So yeah, we're going to check out Jane Gel Music and see if this is a channel we like. Because my normal musicians are all off right now, except for the one musician who doesn't allow raids. So, I don't know anything about this, I don't know anything about Jane Gel Music, so we're gonna discover something completely new tonight. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow for hopefully some Lego, either Lego or a game, and I'll see you soon. New discovery.
Thank you so much. Mostly.
All right, we'll discover a new musician tonight. We are going to discover Jane Gel Music, I guess.
Your heart's not open.
Uncle Eve, welcome.
You're so consumed with how much you get. You waste your time with hate and regret. You're broken when your heart's not open.